Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Oswego, New York, riding for Underground RC, number 39, Caleb Hall. From Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Lillington, North Carolina, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 11, Luke Sullivan. From Tampa, Florida, riding for JIBR.co, 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 12, Braden Castellaneta. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for District Designs, number 24, Colby Eagland. From France, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, 2018 Supercross champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc.
Rewind it.
Win the Anaheim opener in 2000. Braden Carter's going to win tonight in Anaheim. Through to win the Seattle Supercross.
2022 Supercross champion. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, your 2-time and defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter.
Someone like me, with the gift of the
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 17. It's the finale of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship, live here on Start Your Systems, Init Esports on Twitch and ESTV. My name is Kellen Brower, joined again by Andrew Wood this week, ready to bring you guys the action from Salt Lake City. Andrew, we've made it to the end of the season, 2 championships still alive, finally to the end of Supercross, but we still have one race to get through, and it's going to be a good time tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we get to crown 2 champions tonight. Some of the gaps are tightening up a little bit, maybe not as close as we wanted, but anything can happen here tonight as we get into the racing. You never know. Yeah, if we've seen points leaders miss races, so gonna have to see what happens here as we get into the heat races and eventually the main events.
Yeah, so we do have 2 championships still live. Like you said, that 250 West region title still up for grabs, as well as our 450 championship. We'll get into the points situation in just a minute. But before we do that, let's talk about qualifying, because qualifying is just wrapping up right now. Braden Carter, our defending and looking to be 3-time Supercross champion, goes to the top here with a 50 flat. And Luke Sullivan, last week's winner, also in a 50.1. Alexis Leclerc at a 50.5. What I'm noticing, of course, is aside from the times being close, short lap times. We're going to have long main events here tonight. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see not only how these guys race each other on a track short like this, but obviously the track breaking down too.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it a couple times with some inside ruts getting pretty broken down, the whoops getting more difficult as the race goes on, as we've been in these football stadiums the last couple rounds. But yeah, 50 seconds flat, we're going to be doing lots of, 26, 27 laps, probably at least for these guys tonight. So it's going to be a long race, and it's always kind of a battle, whoever can, last the longest.
All right, so that is our 450 classification rolling into tonight. Let's take a look at 250 West, because this is an East-West showdown, remember. So we have the East guys to think about as well. But Jed Holyhead trying to knock off Seth Shirley from the top of the championship picture here. Goes fastest at a 51 flat, 51.2 for the guys right behind him. Shirley there on a 51.2 as well. Times are close, and if you're Seth Shirley, the last thing you need here tonight is to let Holyhead win and you have a bad main event. So the only thing you can focus on for if you're Shirley in this situation is staying close, I suppose, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Holyhead qualifying fastest, putting himself almost 3/10 up on his championship rival there. You're doing everything that you can, putting yourself in a good mindset coming into the race, and all you got to do is go out there and win the race and pray that enough guys can get between you and your championship rival and take this thing home.
We'll look at 250 East just real quick here to synopsize what's going on there. New champion Rasmus Balzer goes fastest at a 50.9. No surprise there. Cooper Hunt, Chris Watts, Alec Horn, Colin Allen all in the mix. And then reigning champion but no longer champ Bryce Whelan also there on a 51.8. So fun to see how these guys are going to square off against each other here tonight. But let's talk about championship picture real quick, because this is our 450 standings going into tonight. Carter 16 up on Leclerc, so he only needs to finish in the top 13 to win the championship here tonight, no matter what Leclerc does. Do we think Carter still goes for the win, or do you think it's a situation where he might play it a little bit safe here to get this title done?
I mean, yeah, you've got less of the 250 guys kind of hopping up in there since it is a showdown race, but I think he's going to go out there and try to win. I mean, that's where he feels comfortable, is up in the front. I mean, at least getting on the podium. He's not worried about anyone else out there. He's here to ride his own race. And Leclerc is going to have to, do something big, just kind of like Holyhead, and he's going to hope for a complete downfall for Carter here tonight. So I think Carter's going to go out there and try to win just like he does every other round.
And then we'll, of course, talk about our 250 West Championship standings. 11 points the difference between Shirley and Holyhead. How much do you feel that this East-West showdown, though, impacts this title race? Obviously, there's more guys that can get into the mix here, but we've seen one East-West showdown already. Do you feel that the East has enough power to get in the mix between what we're seeing out of Shirley and Holyhead down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing we didn't mention looking at those qualifying times, is that you do have the opposite coast in there playing spoiler. So Holyhead, if he goes out there and wins, there might be some guys, Rasmus Balzer from the other coast getting up in between him and Shirley. And Holyhead does have a realistic chance at this, with having the opposite coast in there, more guys to play spoiler. I think this is his best chance right here, and he's got to go out there and just lay it all on the line to get first place tonight, and just pray that everyone else can kind of mix in between him and Shirley.
And you also have to consider, I feel like, with these East-West showdowns a little bit, that we tend to see not necessarily surprise winners, but some surprise faces get in the mix, because there is so much of the East-West battling each other, focusing on each other, that you have a guy that's normally like a 5th place guy break through for a win. So there's always some fun surprises that we find when we race these East-West showdowns. Let's take a look at the track overhead view here real quick before we get going here tonight. First thing that jumps out to me, of course, is over/under bridges. But Andrew, what do you think about this track here in Salt Lake City? Kind of unique, interesting first turn layout, fairly long set of whoops. Overall, pretty good racetrack, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it especially when you kind of have the jump into the first rhythm across the start like that. Finish line in the tunnel is going to be a little bit slow. We got a decent whoop section here, but a lot of there's a couple 90s, but there's a lot of 180-degree corners here. A lot of chances for someone to come up the inside and kind of make a move. I think it'll bring some good racing. We only have 2 kind of rhythm sections, 1 medium and 1 long. But I think with the amount of turns that we got and the way this track wraps around, you definitely have some options for people to, come up the inside, make a block pass, and make a move. And which is what some of these guys are going to be doing. Like we mentioned, Holyhead trying to get up front early. And also a lot of options for someone to put someone on the ground. So got to keep an eye out for that as well.
Absolutely. Give me just 1 second here, folks. Apologies for the overlay on the screen here. Just trying to get our graphics tuned up just a little bit better, and I want to make sure I'm still in the server, which I am. I did not get booted. So let's go ahead and take you guys around this track a little bit. One thing I wanted to note is there is a bit of a drop down off of the start gate right here, about 4 or 5 feet out. There's a tiny little drop down, so it's always interesting to see how those guys react to that. And then one end of the stadium all the way to the other through this first turn complex right here. Andrew, just take us through what you're kind of seeing about with this track so far.
Yeah, so it looks like there's probably going to be some people doubling across that off the start. Looks like some options for a big rhythm. I like this inside line here if people are going to jump across, and you got that drop off to bank off of right there. Going to be interesting. I feel like that inside might be a little bit heavily used here. Coming back across the start, nothing special, and kind of a sweeper turn, so probably not going to be any passes made there. But coming into this finish line and then the tunnel jump there to get back across the start straight, that might set some people off right there. If you're diving up the inside or whatever, kind of unsettle your bike before you get into this whoop section. Looks a little bit tricky, but not too long here. Big triple step on off here, and then a triple in the corner. Not going to be too difficult. We'll see how easily the 250 guys are going to be able to make that here. And nice little 353 into the triple here. Right hand 90, going to go back off the single, a little bit elevated into a 90, so that's going to be interesting to see what people do there. Do they go outside and kind of jump across, or inside and protect? And then right here, if you're going to go outside and step on there, that's going to be really interesting to see what people are doing with their race line as well. That rhythm section is not as long as it seems, from the picture right there. Only about 3 jumps to get through it. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for passes. A couple spots like this where there isn't opportunities for passes, but a lot of like unique little quirks and inside lines and coming over this berm here. I think it might be a little bit tricky and set up catch some guys off guard here, and also set up some opportunities for some passes.
What do you think of that whoop section right there? Obviously out of a 90, you're talking about going over that berm and maybe setting people up. Do you think you see maybe guys go inside trying to get into the whoops and maybe like set up a block pass so someone doesn't get a good run through there, or what do we think?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. You go outside, you're probably gonna be on the low line going into it, but you're gonna leave yourself wide open going outside to blitz them, and people might just come inside and just kind of take away that fast line there. You're gonna go outside here and show us this step on. Doesn't look like it's gonna be used very much, but maybe they're gonna go inside and kind of bank off the sidewall. We see some of the guys do that. There was a second different between 450 and 250 qualifying here with the fastest laps pretty much throughout the top 10. So I'm curious to see if there's some weird big line that the 450 guys are able to do, or if there's just so many like weird little corners on this track that the 450 acceleration is just kind of separating them enough. But yeah, that does look like it's going to be real interesting there, and we'll probably see a lot of passes going into, or at least people getting a different drive. Maybe they're protecting, and then passes coming into this big 180 bowl turn here.
Yeah, I love 180 bull berms after the whoops, because then guys will go that little extra mile to kind of send it. I did want to ask you about right before the finish line. I know you said that we maybe won't see many opportunities for passing, but as it is a sweeper, do you think if guys are close, you're going for a transfer spot battle, you see guys maybe just kind of almost like Hail Mary, drag the rear brake, slide a little through the corner, maybe try to get a little extra power to the line, and then obviously launch the finish to try to get a spot?
Yeah, for sure. Going to be seeing some people launch the finish line there. It all kind of depends, too, how you take that 180 turn before it, how you set yourself up inside or outside. Can you just hold it wide open, start banging gears, and try to cut across? Or do you have to kind of jump to the inside and protect? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know how much action we'll see there, but there are some guys who, either rear brake slide or kind of hold that front brake, too, and kind of they're really good at flat tracking there. So going to be interesting to see what happens there. Going to be some interesting last couple corners with that inside in the 90 before you go across the start, and then that double into that 180. I feel like that's going to be basically where we see most of our last turn action that we see in the LCQs.
Yeah, going to be a good time to watch those. And of course, watch our battles for the wins. All right, let's get into the action. 250 heat number 1 is coming up first here in Salt Lake City. It'll either be the West or the East heat race. The way that this breaks down in the East-West Showdown is that the West all race each other in a heat race. So 20-ish best West riders in the game race each other versus the other heat being the 20 best East riders. And then, of course, the 9 riders from those transfer to the East-West Showdown. Everybody else behind that will then combine in the last chance qualifier, in which we'll see 4 more riders go through out of that. So there will be at least 9 riders from each coast definitely making it in, and then we'll see who makes it through those 4 last chance qualification spots. And then, of course, our 450 heats as well, same situation, 9 riders transferring out of those, and then 4 out of the LCQ, but it is not really a combined situation because we always see the 450 class combined, so it's going to be fun to watch those guys here in just a little bit. So let's see who's on the gate here for 250 heat number 1 and determine which of the coasts is going first here tonight. Looks like Tharp, Pinkerton, Marchini, Briscoe, Thomas, Miranda, Mudge, Brune, Anderson, Gatlin, Stevenson. It is the
West Coast.
Because Jed Holyhead is out here on the Covenant machine. So where is our championship leader? Seth Shirley. Well, there's Enzo Butigny running the 1. I don't know whose bike he's got right there, but there is our championship leader, Seth Shirley, looking for this 250 West Championship here tonight. And we're lagging in and out of the corner there a little bit. So yeah, here we go. We're getting ready to drop the gate on the first heat race of the night. I'm excited. Are you excited, Andy?
I am excited. I like that little bank right there on the drop off of the start. That's pretty cool how you can jump across that corner, then slam off of it. Hopefully it doesn't unsettle some people's bikes. Might actually see some people having issues with that. But the thing about that start too is going to be tricky is some guys have their start technique so dialed in just for a perfect flat start. And, you know, having it be like 5 feet out the gate, I wonder if anyone's going to have trouble with it. People that aren't normally starters figuring it out, or people that are really good starters, you know, kind of not figuring out the right technique for it. Going to be interesting to see what happens here, and if that kind of leads to any one of our contenders getting a bad start.
Yeah, we'll see where everyone decides to line up as well because of that long start straight. You can maybe get a start from anywhere, but then you also maybe want to swoop into that first corner because it is a left-hand sweeper. So here we go, folks. It's time for 250 West Heat Race, also known as 250 Heat number 1 of the East-West Showdown here to start the night in Salt Lake City. So this is critical times right here for Seth Shirley to at least make the main event, but Jet Holyhead needs to do it as well. They are both down the inside, the 50 and the 44 on the right side of your screen, going for it in this heat race. Here we go, 250 West Heat number 1. We are racing in Salt Lake City. Gate is down. I see that Seth Shirley is having some internet issues, and he's hit a couple guys, but it actually helped him get a great start as Shirley is going to grab the whole shot. Holyhead is in second, and I hate what this might mean if Seth Shirley is already lagging about potential dossing situations. Hopefully that's not a case, but you can see he's going in and out a little bit with his internet connection, so it's Shirley leading, Holyhead second, and Cade Matherly off to a good start in third. Yeah,
great start by Matherly. He was able to survive that kind of chaos, the little lag situation that Shirley has. Actually gave him a pretty good start. He was getting the whole shot, but he took out about 8 guys there with the domino effect there. But look at these, our top 2 in the championship, and Cade Matherly, who's been great all year, easily top 3 in this first heat race. Let's see how this kind of shakes up as these guys start to get in more of the track.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Holyhead reacts to Shirley kind of blinking a little bit in front of him, because obviously it's a situation where when the rider on our screen kind of disappears in the server, they momentarily kind of lag to a dead stop. So if you're right behind them, there's a chance you just hit their stationary rider and end up going down yourself. So if you're Holyhead, probably best case scenario here is to not follow Shirley and take some alternate lines if you can.
Yeah, it's really scary when you see that happening in front of you, because they disappear, and sometimes they even kind of hold that spot that they're in for a second. You can run into that collision, but also you never know where they're going to reappear, so you got to be super careful. Hopefully it kind of cleans up soon as this race goes on. And I'm already seeing, haven't seen anything before the whoops, but already seeing that bank on the start actually cause a couple issues, so going to be interesting to keep an eye on that. I would not be surprised if that causes at least 1 or 2 crashes here tonight.
Well, for Seth Shirley, he's done everything he needed to do in this race thus far. And hopefully it seems that those internet issues are maybe starting to resolve themselves a little bit, a couple lags here and there. But Shirley out front leading this heat race, and he's got Holyhead following him. It looks like they're perfectly content to stay 1-2 and follow each other home here as Matherly is tucked into third behind them. Pretty big gap already back to fourth. We got Hayden Stevenson here in fourth. Ryan Anderson is in fifth. Lucas Brune coming through in sixth with Austin Schaefer, who was on the box last week, in seventh. Nathan Prynn back this week in eighth. And Enzo Butigny rounding out our transfer spots. And remember, this is essentially a main event for these guys. These are guys that normally ride inside the top 10 or sometimes even the top 5, trying to just make the main event by finishing in the top 9 in this heat race. So these guys are, having to come hot and heavy at them, that they're having to ride at their absolute best right from the get-go here. Yeah,
someone like Butigny who's back on the bubble right now, it's really nerve-wracking. I feel like you see our top 3 really not pushing too crazy because it's all about just surviving this heat race. You don't want to go into an LCQ with a bunch of other guys on a different coast who don't really care what you're doing and you're not used to racing with them all year. So Butigny right here is just kind of stay up, get through this heat race. He's got a really good lead, so you're just kind of riding to survive. You're not really crazy worried about gate pick. It's all about getting in that main event, getting the points, because we got 11 other guys in this race that are not making it through. And look at this 9th all the way up to about 5th place battle starting to tighten up as Austin Schaefer is getting right on the rear wheel of the number 405 right in front of him, of Brune.
Yeah, Lucas Brune dealing with the pressure, but also putting the pressure on Ryan Anderson. This is all the way up to the 5 position, as you had mentioned, 5 through 9, nose to tail over the finish line jump right here. It's actually Butigny who's lost ground a little bit with them, but this is a terrific fight. Anderson, Brune, Schaefer, and Prynn nose to tail right here, and we know Nathan Prynn can put down some absolute heaters. We're almost going 3 wide at the edge of the whoops here. Schaefer up the inside. They both get around. Brune and Schaefer both get around Anderson. And then Prynn jumps off the side of the track. So little mistakes here, but also Anderson slipping back here. He's got to be careful as he actually drops to 8th and then goes back to 7th because Lucas Brune was down on the face of this Supercross triple. And I think Seth Shirley also may have been down or something because he is in this mix suddenly. So all these guys that were battling each other are now battling with Seth Shirley, who was our race leader, and he's fallen back a little ways. Cade Matherly has taken over the race lead. We still have 2 minutes and a lap left to go in this one, but Cade Matherly put himself at the front. Holyhead and Shirley falling back a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder what happened if those two got into each other. Maybe one went down and then the other one kind of ran into him, but dropping back a little bit, and yeah, they got to just be focused on regrouping here and getting back up. They were up front kind of just chilling by themselves. Holyhead is still a little bit, but Shirley's got to be a little bit worried, kind of being more back in the pack. He's surrounded by a couple guys there, just a couple spots behind. You see those 3 behind Holyhead there. Yeah, you just want clean air right here. If you're the championship leader, it's all about getting in the main. Yeah, your gate pick means a little bit, but it's all about just surviving this. And then those two, even with a little bit of adversity, they figured it out. And look at that, Holyhead actually going a little bit wide, doing that step on offline that I didn't really think was going to get used that much, but maybe this 250 class doesn't have the power to hit a certain line, and they're kind of having to resort to that here.
Yeah, using a little bit extra of the track like you're saying, and Holyhead is now kind of opened up the gap. Shirley has gotten around into 4th place again, so Holyhead and Shirley are plenty safe as it runs, and they're all chasing this man, Cade Matherly, who I talked in the opener a little bit about, maybe some surprise winners. Matherly still looking for his first career 250 Supercross win in this class, and this would be a cool time for him to break through in an East West showdown like this, and he's doing a really good job right now of just putting his laps in this heat race, getting out front and sprinting away.
Yeah, he's gotten some good starts. Don't keep it together. He's gotten some good starts so far this year. I feel like we've seen him up front inside the top 3 or top 5 early in lots of heat races and main events this year. His pace isn't always on par with everyone, but he's been kind of able to keep it up there, but he seems like he always has one little blow up that kind of drops him back. So it would be good for him to go out here and get this heat race win, build some confidence. And we do a lot keep it together. We do see a lot of guys kind of who aren't, you talked about it at the top of the show, who aren't normally race winners. They kind of go out and shine. We've seen Eaglin kind of do that in the 450 class, just kind of when he takes over the Triple Crown. Some of these guys, they show up to a showdown and they're like, you know what, I don't care that we're racing against the whole field. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this thing. And maybe it's Matherly's night to shine, and he's just comfortable on this track. And he looks really smooth and really good. A couple bobbles, but keeping it all together so far.
Yeah, it does seem like a track where limiting the damage is going to be the key to the race here, because pretty much everybody's doing the same line in this 250 class and doing it relatively consistently. So getting through those whoops and maintaining a consistent balance throughout the main event will be critical, as Matherly takes the white flag out front. He's got a few seconds in hand back to Hayden Stevenson, who himself has his hands full with Jet Holyhead on the 50 right behind him. So this is the Yogi Designs 84 of Stevenson and the 50 Covenant ride of Holyhead right on him as we go into the whoops. This is a battle for second. Shirley's back there. Holyhead into the tough blocks and off the track. Nice save and gets right back into the battle.
Yeah, Holyhead had a way better line, but with that drive, you have to cut all the way to the right of the whoops and then turn in the whoops to cut back. So getting a little bit wild here, casing that triple in, and it did look big when you hit it on your side lap. Look at these 250 guys. We've seen a couple of them already struggling with it. Holyhead's still putting the chase, but man, Stevenson has really come into his own this last half of the year here. Had some great rides from him. Feel like he started off the season a little bit slow, but we've seen him up front so much. And look at this, Holyhead getting a little bit closer on him though. He's got about half a lap, or no, 2 turns.
Yeah, here we go. Cade Matherly takes 250 heat number 1. He wins the West heat, and Stevenson is going to hold off Holyhead by a nose. Nathan Prynn moved up to 4th, and Seth Shirley coming through this final corner will qualify for the main event here tonight. He is in out of 5th place, but it wasn't without a little bit of internet issues, so hopefully we get that sorted. Enzo Buttigny there in 6th, Lucas Brune 7th, Marchini is 8th, and here comes Ryan Pinkerton across the start straight in 9th. It looks like there is some chaos going on behind him, but Pinkerton has avoided all of that. Maxime Vanderbeek is going to be close, but not quite close enough as Pinkerton goes to the main event. Vanderbeek flying through the tough blocks.
Just short.
So Schaefer missed out. Instant disconnect, so he's obviously not too thrilled with that situation. Ryan Anderson, who was in a transfer spot, is not through. Tharp, who was one of our fastest qualifiers in the West, also having to go to the LCQ. Arthur Miranda, Bodie Parker, Jack Gatlin, Michael Mudge, Brett Thomas, Timmy Briscoe, Tucker Zimmerman, a lot of guys we normally expect to see in main events, also headed to that last chance qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, we normally get to see these guys show up to a race, and 9 of them make it through the first heat, and then 9 of them make it through the second heat. I know we do have a little bit smaller of a field, but I guess this would normally be kind of like a main event field here tonight. But yeah, it's a bummer for some of those guys missing out, and you're going to have to go up against the other 11 who don't make it in on the next coast that we're about to see line up here.
Yeah, and just as much as it is a pseudo main event for our West guys, it's the same thing for the East guys. So you're going to have riders not qualifying out of that East heat race that are potentially top 10 threats, even when we do combine these guys. So this is going to be interesting to see who makes it or does not make it out of our East heat race and then ends up in that LCQ amongst the West riders as well. So Rasmus Balzer, our newly crowned champion, coming to the line here. Rasmus Balzer did defeat Bryce Whelan in his title defense in one of the most unbelievable turnarounds I've ever seen in a championship, going from 28 points down of Whelan at one point, missing an entire week of racing due to suspension, and clinching the title around early. Balzer did it, I guess the only way you can, which is go out and win as many races as you possibly can and just hope something weird happens.
Yeah, and I mean, he got suspended at like round 3, so early on in the season, felt like he was out, started off pretty strong, but had to completely miss a round as well himself. So, I mean, that whole title fight was just fought through adversity. Those guys just, never giving up, right? You never know what's going to happen late, and Balzer was able to kind of hold it all together. And in the end, he came out on top, which was just kind of awesome to see. And we'll see how many of those guys kind of end up in play spoiler here tonight in the Opposite Coast championship battle. But yeah, I would be looking for Balzer to come out here and try to just kind of stay on top and carry some momentum into the outdoor season.
Yeah, hopefully we get some fun in the outdoors coming up here in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back with you guys then as we get ready to start the season, or 11 rounds of nationals. But we got to end up a Supercross title here tonight. And this is the most inconsequential heat race when it comes to a championship implication, because the championship is already clinched, as we mentioned. So Balzer is even running the 1E. I kind of like
clean.
It. Pretty good setup. I wonder, is Whelan still running the 1? Because he is allowed to. So yeah, he is running the 1. And Balzer's got the 1E. Does he have it on the number plate as well?
He has it on the number plate for sure.
Saying on the in-game. No, he's still
number
using
35.
So, but I dig it. You know what? He's a champ, and he's doing cool wheelie tire tap backflips. So why not? I mean, it's a nice setup.
Yeah, you earned it. And I mean, a lot of times you would come into Sandy, or didn't they do the showdown right after the championships were already? Or they would do the main event, so you wrap up the title and then you go into the showdown race with your 1E, 1W.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a long time, I think until maybe 2013, the final round of 250 Supercross didn't count for anything other than race wins. It would just be the East-West showdown. and there was no points on the line, nothing like that. It was just bragging rights. So the champs would already have their number 1 plates out there. And then we did go to that format for a couple of years where they actually ran main events beforehand. They did an East and a West main event to determine points. And then finally we have the format you see today, which of course is the points-paying East-West Showdown. So this is still part of the championship season, which is why, theoretically speaking, Balzer can't run the 1 yet. But why not?
Yeah,
like
whatever.
Clinch the title. I did hear
you clinched the round early, so like rep it. You don't have to wait a year. You did it.
And I did hear that the Lawrence brothers are going to run 1W and 1E this weekend as well, because they've already clinched the titles. And theoretically speaking, Jet is the reigning East champion, so he should be running the 1 there. And then Christian Craig is the reigning West champion, so he should be running the 1 there.
Yeah.
But neither one are doing that, so why not run the 1E?
Just run 1 Wii.
Just
be like, sorry, Hunter, I've won them both.
Oh, I thought you meant Weast.
Wii.
All right, folks, let's go racing 250. Heat number 2, it's the East Coast heat here in Salt Lake City. Who's going to get that whole shot?
Oh, my 113's barking.
113 and 1. That's Whelan getting off the
Whelan.
gate really well. Oh, gets
look at
connected
her.
with Zellner from the outside. Just absolutely rod him into the first corner. And Cooper Hunt's going to come out with the whole shot in this one. Oh, triple to the inside. Little nice
That was
grease
greasy.
line. Chris Watts up into second place behind him. That was the 113 up the inside with a great start. You got McPherson also in the mix. Alex Carlo. Colby Hallpayne with a good start. A lot of guys' skins that I don't have, but that's what happens when you get late in the season and people are still team hopping. Cooper Hunt leading this thing, though, for District Designs right now.
Yeah, Cooper Hunt with a great start there. Good start by Whelan, but just kind of got into it with someone. And Cooper Hunt goes and nose picks it. He ends up doing a flip,
Chris
takes out
Watts.
Chris Watts. Are you doing? Is what he's saying right now. Alex Carlo, though, to the lead, gets that triple on. The rider behind him doesn't make it. So just like that, he gains himself a little 1 second lead there. Hits that triple in. And look at that, about 6 dudes behind him. Rasmus Balzer, though, making a little mistake.
Dualies, anybody know? Straight Air Leclerc, everyone's boner airing because no one cleared
Yeah,
the triple
boy, yeah.
in.
And they're all double singling.
Yeah. But this is an absolute freight train. Balzer's in the mix. You got Tom Quino, McPherson. I don't even know how to say this name. Kayafa, I believe, on the 54 of Devastland. Oh, he's going to get around Christopher McPherson, who cased that jump. You got Race Cobble down. He is down with Zalin Tollers.
Zalin Tollers.
Zalin Tollers down in transition here with Race Cobble, so they're going backwards. We got Whelan just up the road here as well. He's in 12th, so not the best start for the actual number 1 machine. He's got a few guys ahead of him to get through. And our final transfer spot right now is Brandon Nygren. This is absolute chaos in this heat race thus far.
Yeah, this is a huge pack right here, so close together. Nygren's going to lose a spot to Alec Horn as he goes by in the whoops. Another couple riders down back there. Not sure if Whelan was able to make it through cleanly, but honestly, for him to get, oh, there he is right behind him. So Whelan's in 10th place. So and there's a couple
guys
riders
tossed off the side of the triple.
down, just getting tossed like a wet salad, as Kellen would say. But I mean, Whelan made a mistake. He was off track. He lost a spot back there at the back of our screen, but we're still watching this tight battle up here as Horn is battling by himself, trying to get back up into this mix. Cooper Hunt dropped so far back, cut through, almost hit the pixie stick. He is trying to kill someone.
That's Ben Kayafa, I believe, that he's getting around right there. And Hunt going after Carlo Doolies over the finish line, Joe. Oh, scrubbing back the offside in front of him. Here comes the 113 of Chris Watts.
He's coming for redemption.
Cooper Hunt up the inside into the whoops, didn't get a great drive. Everybody's hopping. Hunt's getting sideways. You got Kayafa right back there. Alec Horn's going to business. These guys crossing over each other. Oh, look at this. Oh, plows him into the Davalos bales. Chris Watts laying it in. Doesn't get the triple in, so Horn's going to come by. Watts is going to short the triple, nose in, front end tuck. Then Whelan's coming in. He's stacked 3 wide coming through the corner. Oh, Watts is down on the tough blocks on the inside. Cooper Hunt trying to follow Whelan into this corner. You got Kayafa on the 54 still right behind them. Got some guys going over, some guys on off, tripling into this corner. 3 different rhythm options right there as Whelan has snuck somehow, some way into 4th place. Colin Allen's now in 3rd. Alec Horn's all the way up to 2nd as our 1E of Rasmus Balzer leads this race. I don't even know what's going on. Chaos abundance in this heat race at the moment.
I was just going to say, when you threw it to me, I have no idea what just happened, so I can't commentate on any of that. You see another rider going down on the whoops there, but Balzer's like, all right, you guys do you. Start having some chaos, taking each other out, falling everywhere. I'm just going to go out here and win this damn thing, just like I did the last couple rounds. Go out and drop it on these guys, and he's going to try to, bring some confidence, and looks like it'll probably be the fastest heat going in. So probably the best gate pick for his coast going into the night. But man, Balzer just looking calm, cool, and collected, greasing it, tossing it, just having a good old time out here.
I mean, he looks awesome, but it's kind of boring compared to what we were just watching. So we're
gonna go back. I want to see people
Alec Horn,
crash.
Bryce Whelan, Nygren, and Holt now in the top 5. McPherson 6th, Colby Hall-Payne is 7th. Cooper Hunt is 8th. Oh, that is Watts teeing up Matt Cromie for 9th as Chrome Dog goes down.
Look at all
these guys just coming through right here. So they just went back to Cromie's in 20th. He was in the 9th position.
Oh my God.
Coming through that corner, and he's all the way back to 20th. So let's go back. Where is our transfer spot right now? It's Race Cobble through the whoops. Ryder's down at the end of the whoops. He's going to get stood up because on the inside is McPherson, who's getting tripled over. Gets split on either side. Heilman goes up into the final transfer spot, so McPherson now settles in behind him. Heilman short into the triple, doesn't get it. McPherson goes back by, and then Cobble goes down. Heilman lands on him, so going through into the final transfer spot, just squeaking around. Finally, Zalon Tollers has made it. The 182 is up here into 9th. Heilman back to 10th. Colin Allen is stuck behind him, and I got to figure this out. So he is 10th still, right behind Talon Zollers, who is up into 9th. Unbelievable. I just cannot keep track of this. Guys are going everywhere in this heat race.
Yeah, like it seems like none of these guys want to make a transfer spot. I mean, Watts going absolutely crazy, just killing Cromie for a transfer and sending them both back to like 19th and 20th. Like, oh my God, I don't even know what's happening here, but Zoller is now coming through. He's in the final transfer spot. He's probably freaking out right now. There we go. That's a spot. We like Cooper Hunt.
Way off the track
and
with
Nygren.
Nygren. Yeah, so Nygren gets on in 8th, I believe, still. Yeah, and Allen instead moves up to 9th. So Cooper Hunt is the rider that falls out of a transfer spot. Heilman still right back there on the 43 as Nygren goes down hard. Allen up into 8th. And here comes Heilman around the outside. He's going to get drive down this start straight and try to pass Allen into this corner at the other end. Not quite close enough as the battle for 9th continues. Oh, Heilman front end tucked down. And here comes Chris Watts, everybody's favorite punteroonie, is up into 10th. He's going for it and try to take Colin Allen out as well.
Dude, no one wants to win. No one wants to transfer. They're like, yeah, we'll show up, but I don't really want to race it. But everyone's just washing fronts, crashing all over the place. Colin Allen, though, now inheriting the final transfer spot. He's like, got to just calm down. Everyone just figure it out.
Chill pill, man.
Take a chill pill, everyone. Seems like everyone in front of him's kind of figured it out now, but he's having a couple mistakes there. Got a rider almost going down behind him in the 10th place spot in the whoops. Those whoops look tricky for how short they are. And then these 250s just don't have a lot of power unless they can grease it like that. And was that a rider? That was Christopher McPherson, now dropping back into 10th place. That allows Watts, the freaking professional punter.
Dude, these guys, so much crashing has happened that, by the way, Watts, I think, is 8th now. Balzer is almost going to lap these guys. Balzer, by the way, is coming into the Supercross triple right now. He's 20 seconds in the lead. Here's Horn 2nd, Whelan 3rd, Hall-Payne now 4th, Holt 5th, Zollers 6th, Allen 7th, Watts 8th, and then Heilman in 9th, and Balzer only a couple of corners behind him. That is just an emphasis of how crazy this heat race has been. So much crashing, so many passes that in a 6-lap heat race, you're almost going to get lapped and make the main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy just how much action has happened. Heilman just getting a little bit sketchy here, too, just trying to stay alive and keep it all together here.
I mean, not being pretty yet.
We already, Balzer already won the race, by the way.
Yeah,
so
Balzer takes the win out front, but we're going to keep an eye on
40 seconds back, Heilman right here.
That's looking a little bit like A-Wood back in 12 out here right now for John Heilman. Finca Motorsports 43 is loose.
And JLV comes out of nowhere.
He's going to kill him.
He punts me.
Keyboard warrior JLV. Here comes Christopher McPherson, though. Can he get close
enough? He crashed out of it, too,
or is someone else going to run into each other? Colin Allen just up here. It's like everyone is going to play it safe and I believe transfer through okay. Watts through in 6th and then Allen through in 8th. Heilman goes to the main in 9th and McPherson just misses out in 10th. So Cooper Hunt, who hole shot this race, ends up 11th. Oh, Tyler Nichols puts Kayaka on the ground coming across the start straight. So Nygren's going to scoot by up into 13th. Quinoa lap down, Race Cobble, Jacob Kelly, Alex Carlo, Matt Cromie, and Alex Zellner. I think Cromie is not going to be thrilled with Chris Watts, who did make the main event, and Cromie did not. So Chromie has to go to the LCQ, but maybe some reparations are being paid in the main event to one Chris Watts at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean, all the action that was going on back there, I can't even imagine being Chromie, working your way into a transfer position, and then getting sent all the way back to 20th with how crazy that main event was. You couldn't even predict, what's going on, who's taking people out, who's crashing everywhere. So it's really difficult to move up through the pack. Really impressed by Whelan to get all the way from he down on the start. We saw him in 12th place, then he worked his way all the way up to second. 20 seconds behind your leader, yeah, but he worked his way all the way back. A little rocks-ish like that ride from last week. But, able to work your way up, get into the position where you want. But no lap times anywhere even close to Balzer. I guess 11th place. Who is that barking?
Cooper Hunt.
51-1 by Balzer, and then Cooper Hunt dropping a 51-2 as well back there. But only two guys dipping into the 51s, which is where their qualifying times were. So really impressive by those riders here. And if Hunt makes it through the main, or it makes it through the LCQ, you got to keep an eye out for him for the main.
Well, that's obviously the fun part of these East West showdowns, is because these heat races are mini main events. Instead of the battle for 8th just being like, oh, okay, it's early in the main event, let's settle in, find our groove. It's like, no, it's suddenly a death battle between guys that we normally see top 10ing main events trying to just make a main event in the first place. So always fun to see how that shakes down. And the East did not disappoint this time around. So we'll still have an LCQ to see with those guys. But now it is time to roll into the 450 class championship picture, rolling into tonight's final round of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross. Braden Carter, 16 points up on Alexis Leclerc, so he needs to finish 13th or better in the main event tonight to win the championship. And he has the most wins on the season, more than anybody else, so the tiebreaker goes to his favor no matter what, which means that 13th place or better will secure the title. So Carter going to try to make the main event out of this one, as will Alexis Leclerc, coming up in the heat races. 450 Heat 1 going to the line here in Salt Lake City. And kind of exciting to see in this 450 class, as you mentioned a little bit earlier tonight, what these guys are doing in terms of different lines, because we've seen a couple different options for the 250 guys, but the 450 guys had some ridiculously good lap times compared to the 250 class. So will we see a big quad or something like that uncorked somewhere? I don't know, but I'm excited to check it out.
What do you do with my mic?
What are you doing?
I don't know. Everyone's saying my mic's louder, sounds like.
Oh, I can turn it down.
Mic check.
I mean,
Maybe I just need to move it. I think I was laying down too much.
Well, if it was still too loud, just let me know.
Yeah, let me know, Len.
We'll turn it around.
Good old
Aaron Rockefeller, Adam Holm, Eduardo Simos, Austin Bear, Logan Heagney, Devin Davis, Anthony Pichon, Colby Eagland, Colton Mitchell is also here this week. Wow, that's a throwback. Former national number 6, or career number 6, I should say. Caden Speck, Braden Carter, Ethan Parks, Matthias Janis, and Braden Castellaneta. So this is the Carter-Leclerc heat race ready to go now. These two battling for the championship will battle each other in a heat race, and that's always fun to see, because it's basically like having two main events in one.
Oh, invisible wall.
Yeah, definitely can't do the finish line jump to the landing of the wall jump there, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, no, I guess not. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Let me text. Let me take this.
All right, Andrew Wood is a busy man. Is that Andrew Wood as he takes a phone call? I just saw him walk out with a briefcase too as well. So there's probably about a lot of money that he's going to divvy up to somebody. So Alexis Leclerc, Braden Carter ready to do battle in 450 heat number 1 here in Salt Lake City. They're also having a little bit of fun right now, just kind of training, throwing whips and whatnot, getting ready for the main event. I think for Leclerc's sake, last year he rolled in 7 points down of Carter in the championship hunt, so it was a little bit closer, a little bit more tense rolling into the main events. I feel like tonight Leclerc looks like he's already kind of accepted the fact that this is going to be Carter's championship, and so if you're Leclerc, I suppose, is just go out, win, and hopefully put a solid night together when all is said and done. So that is going to lead us into 450 heat number 1, coming to the gate 6 minutes plus a lap, top 9 transfer to the main event, and we are set and ready to go after it again here in Salt Lake City. 450 heat 1 is on the gate. They are ready to go. Are you guys ready? It's time to drop the gate again. Oh, off the drop down, couple guys hitting each other. Carter controls from the inside. Leclerc pushes hard into the first corner on the outside and pushes someone off the track. Leclerc, whole shot. Carter right behind him in second. Leclerc goes for the quad, comes up a little bit short, gets cross jumped in by a couple guys going around him on either side as Castellaneta and Holm stack up in the corner, but it's Carter leading. A Phil's 1, 2, 3, 4 coming across the line to complete the first. Rockefeller got in the mix. He just got around Leclerc for fourth, so it's a Phil's 1, 2, 3, 5, but it is Carter out front.
Yeah, I mean, Carter, this is exactly what we want to see. I know it's just a heat race for these guys, but we haven't really seen Carter and Leclerc in heat races too much together. It seems like they qualify just in the right spots where we kind of miss them and we don't get to see them until they meet up in the main event. But Leclerc trying to do that big line off the start there, just wasn't able to kind of bring it together, and so we see him drop back a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a couple passes and get back up there. Castellaneta with a great start as well, and Holm also in between. We'll see these 450 riders if they do anything different or if it's just kind of the speed that they can carry around this track, and just look at that corner speed. They just kind of flow those corners a lot better. Those 250 guys slamming into that wall and the 450 guys kind of rounding it off a little bit better. So Carter leading us around here into lap 3 and looking good with Castellaneta right behind him.
Yeah, they're the best riders in the world for a reason, as Braden Castellaneta is closing up on his teammate Braden Carter for the race lead. Castellaneta swapping, and down he goes, the 12 machine hitting the deck in the whoops. Adam Holm is going to go through as Aaron Rockefeller goes
right
down.
The front wheel for so long.
Oh, and then Caden Speck, I believe, on the 89 gets stood up in the corner. Devin Davis barging his way through on the inside, so Davis making a pass up a little bit further up here. Wanted to go on board with Leclerc as he tries to chase down Carter to get an onboard perspective of this racetrack and see what these guys are doing. So far, like you said, though, similar lines, similar lap times to what we've seen out of the 250 heat race, but it seems like Carter and Leclerc are now starting to put the hammer down. Maybe we'll see some qualifying times break through between these two guys.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, Carter instantly knows when Leclerc's behind him. He's got people in his corner telling him kind of what's up, and these guys are both just going to start dropping it. 50.8 he dips into. These guys were in the low 50s during qualifying, so I would not be surprised to see these two just start laying down as fast as laps as they can. Look at that whoop speed by Leclerc. Even when he gets sketchy, he just hits the gas a little bit harder and keeps going through. He has so much skill, he can wrangle it back underneath him. And a little bit of gap forming here right now, but these guys, I mean, they're both in hot lap mode, so we're seeing Leclerc right now try to chase him and use his best lines. You see him make a mistake right there, and he is off the bike right there. That is a legs off, so he's going to lose that. You saw him push his front a little bit there, and then just kind of wasn't able to get it back together on the elevated corner. Devin Davis is going to run into him. I think he's the first guy normally that doesn't have skins on, so D. Davis runs into him, and now this battle is tightening up a little bit more back here. D. Davis trying to make the pass up the inside.
Classic D. Davis-Leclerc battle right here. These guys have been going at it for a decade, and if you haven't been watching with us for that long, I don't know where you've been, because these guys love racing each other, Leclerc and Devin Davis, as the battle continues for third place. Wanted to go back, give a little bit of love, because it's been forever since we've seen Spencer Turley. Not sure if that's really the real Spencer Turley, because we've had so many people running fake accounts the last few weeks, but Spencer Turley back here trying to give it a go in MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross, currently in 10th, and maybe going to go into a transfer spot, because a lot of guys just went down. Pachone and Heagney are down at the end of the whoops, and they're picking it up as they get split on either side. Colton Mitchell, who we also haven't seen in a long time, out here tonight, and he is now caught up behind Spencer Turley. So we got a couple guys now in transfer spots that we haven't seen in years, really, racing MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross here tonight.
Yeah, Colton Mitchell, I mean, a lot of these guys, they still play the game, like, you know, every once in a while, kind of how me or you know, and you see Colton Mitchell right there hitting that, like, hybrid line that we talked about might be possible earlier on. But some of these guys, they see the showdown as he makes a pass into 8th place right there after a little mistake. We see them kind of show up because you have the whole 250 class racing their respective coasts. So your showdown, as you know, a guy who's like, yeah, I might just race one-off round, and this is my chance to go. Your showdown's the time to shine, and he's doing it right now, holding down 8th place and about to make his way to his first main event of the year. And just like that, picks up one more spot. Spencer Turley goes by as Aaron Rockefeller cartwheels in the whoops for the second time. Who was that?
Heagney going down, and
Heagney dies.
Janice is going to go through Pachone and Parks because Austin Bear is backwards in this berm right here, and then they almost hit each other as they get going. So Catch the Fever 450 heat race action. Oh, we got more guys down. Pachone down here with Rockefeller. So Rockefeller crashed back-to-back corners Oh, he lights up Patron when they get back up. Oh, man. Have some fun back here. And then Janice is down on the triples. So still some fun going on in the 450 class here. Clear disparagement between our top talent versus what's going on back here, as Carter and Leclerc are still getting away at the front. Battle for third brewing a little bit here. Adam Holm dealing with teammate Braden Castellaneta. A couple guys looking for some solid finishes to round out their year. 17 and 12 battling for third place on the track right now. Castellaneta inside line, looks like he's going to get him.
Yeah, I love his team names. Phil's Monster Energy, Rockstar Energy, and also just some energy, you know? He's going out there. Oh,
Leclerc's down.
God, Castellaneta runs into him. Adam Holm goes by.
Is that your attempt at a scream?
No. I'll scream. I'll scream. I was trying to figure out who the other guy was, too, that followed him through. We looked at him earlier, the pink gear. I don't know. Leclerc washed his front, though. He's just trying to push that extra little bit, and look at that. Just the way he comes in these corners, man. He's so aggressive. And he just kind of loses it himself. Looks like Devin Davis trying to get up on the inside again. Another D. Davis Leclerc battle here. I'd like to see Devin Davis just run it up the inside, and then you're going to go and case that. All right. But Devin Davis, great ride, man. He's been doing really good this year, you know, consistently up there, battling for top 10s, making it through the heats to the main. So good on him so far this year. He's just, you know, in his 18th year of racing, seems like. Everyone else has kind of given it up and moved on. He's still out here barking, you know, putting it inside the top 10, throwing some whips. So good on him for a good ride. And you see some of those ruts developing too on the inside line. I don't think we really saw that in the 250 class there.
Yeah, these 450s seem to be wearing down the track just a little bit more in certain spots. They're also maybe just a little bit more consistently hitting those spots. Because remember, the 250s also struggled to clear that Supercross triple before because they couldn't get the triple right before it as cleanly, as Carter's going to go double to death as he was trying to go 2-2-2 through this section with the Supercross triple in the middle of it. But he's going to pick it up still comfortably in the lead because Leclerc has lost a bit more time after that crash, and Adam Holm moving into the 2 spot now on the 17 machine, and all of his energy that he is pulling together to get this second place finish is really coming to fruition as he OJs the triple jump right there. So Janice almost about to go a lap down as Carter is going to come around and pick up the checkered flag to win 450 heat number 1. Braden Carter sets the tone here early tonight in Salt Lake City, not just trying to win the championship, he wants to win his 8th main event of the season. Adam Holm looks like he's going to hold off Castellaneta for second as the 17 just stays ahead of the 12 over the line as Castellaneta settles in. Oh, Leclerc gives a nudge to Speck. He moves to 4th just at the flag as well. Speck 5th. Colton Mitchell's going to the main event out of 6th. Devin Davis in 7th. Spencer Turley, what is up, my dudes? He is back with a vengeance because he is going to the main event tonight in P8 by the looks of it. And Eduardo Simos, Dudu Mutumbinho, is going to the main as well. He is picking up the final transfer spot right here in 9th place. So Simos, oh man, Colby Eaglin 3rd in the points. He's going to the LCQ. You got Rockefeller, Ethan Parks, Matthias Janis, Logan Heagney, Pachon, Bear, all going to the LCQ as well.
Oh! I guess it doesn't matter, but...
yeah, well, who's going to get 13th?
You asked me if anyone was going to, you know, try to make a pass there, and Janice just kind of showed us how that's going to work out. If you try to slide up the inside on someone and you don't have the wheel on them, you're just going to go down just like that and potentially lose spots if that's in another race. But man, looking at those lap times again, a couple guys in the 4 guys in the 50s, our top 2, of course, Leclerc as well down there, but yeah, 50.4 and a couple 50.7. So Braden Carter just out there just laying it down this race, and just when you're out front by like 25 seconds and you're getting so bored that you have to try to just hit new lines and double over the face of the triple, like, you look like you're pretty locked in and pretty comfortable, ready to win a championship. I think that's what Carter's looking for here tonight, and that was a damn stacked heat race.
Yeah,
I feel like this second 450 heat is just going to be not filler, but I feel like who else is there? We had Eaglin, we had like 3 or 4 race winners this year in this heat, so we're going to have to see what happens as we move into the next one and move this night along, ready to crown a champion here tonight.
That Matthias Janis
in the final
flag just absolutely screams like Matthias Janis makes a clutch pass to move within 7 spots of the transfer spot.
Chris Paul. Janis with the Chris Paul move. Oh my God.
Massive solo shot to move within 9.
I am a man of faith. Castellanos with a deep drive to left field.
That'll make it a 4-0 game.
We're gonna get. It's like when Pulp goes to the mountain bike chat and everyone just hates it. They're gonna be like, "Stop talking baseball, guys!
I'm sick of it
What are these
already."
idiots talking about? This is a final round."
All right.
Oh,
450 Heat 2 coming up. We're just about ready for our final heat race of 2023. Down to the final stretch of this championship. 1 round to go here tonight in Salt Lake City, and only 1 more heat race still to run this year. 9 go to the main event as always. And we've already seen our championship guys make it through in the first heat race, and Colby Eaglin missed. So this is going to be an interesting heat race coming up right here, because I think it's going to feature guys like Hubbard, last week's winner Sullivan, guys that we don't always get to see win a heat race, maybe battled out for a win in this one.
I mean, Hubbard's going to guarantee get the whole shot. Sullivan's going to be probably right behind him, and I feel like they've also both been racing for 18 years. Sullivan, man, coming off that great win last week. Sorry, I'm in pain right here. I've been laughing too much. My ribs starting to hurt a little bit, but
chill.
Sullivan, coming off a win, just come out and win a heat, man. Just do it again. Just win your first ever race and then win the main tonight too. Why not? What's stopping you? Why not? Just do it.
All right, so here we go. 450 Heat 2 about to load on the gate. We'll give you guys a quick rundown. See who's in this one in just a moment. Get a quick restart and connect to the server just a minute from now.
If Alex Efforts is out there, Hubbard's gonna whole shot.
All right, so we've got Nick Thomas-Sunis, Tyler Lang, Caleb Hall, Sonny Spicer, Trevor Spencer, J.R. Reyes. That's a fun face to see back, because he obviously got really hurt in a crash at the Houston Supercross earlier this year, so thankful to see him out here racing. Connor Holiak, Pablo Vial, Jeremy Smith here tonight, Jeff Cooper, Chris Post, last week's winner Luke Sullivan, getting ready to go and battle it out, Jacob Hubbard, James Ohashi, Brandon Larson, all in this one. So it's going to be fun to see who wins this one. A little bit of an unfamiliar face ready to take the top spot in a heat race and roll it right into the main event. So here we go. Final heat race of 2023 is upon us here in Salt Lake City. Here we go, folks. 9 go through. Everybody else heads to that last chance qualifier. Who are they going to be? Let's find out right now. Well, I think you called it, Mr. Wood. Jacob Hubbard would get to the corner first. He is not going to quite get there first, but he is going to get the whole shot. B-Lars around the outside goes over quad triple, but Hubbard with the greasy on-off quad actually comes out with the race lead. So it's Hubbard up front, Larson second, Sullivan third, JS4 right behind him in fourth. Sullivan trying to go into second on Larson, and he is going to get it with Doolies over the finish line jump. Larson a little bit of a case, but Sullivan already going back to work, trying to pick up right where he left off with that win last week.
Ooh, and doing a little slipping and sliding around that corner there, able to hold on. I really like that move by Larson, not only showing us kind of the rhythm that I'm pretty sure Leclerc wanted to hit in the first heat, just had a mistake going in there and framed one, but also just kind of giving it up when he knew he didn't have it. You get a good start, you might not have the speed to run 1, 2, 3, but just let him go by and just kind of settle into a comfortable pace. And looks like he actually must have dropped off, had a big crash or something. But Jeremy Smith up into third now, and Luke Sullivan right on the heels of Hubbard after that great start. Let's see if these guys can battle. Look like that, just like that. A mistake. He's going to let him have it. Can he cut underneath?
Oh, Hubbard squares it off. It goes a little bit deep, but Sullivan controls the inside through the sweeper. Doolies over the finish line jump, and then into the tunnel jump. Sullivan a little short, Hubbard a little bit long. Now into the whoops. Who's going to come out with the benefactor? This one. Ooh, Hubbard into the tough blocks. And here comes Jeremy Smith up the inside. Into second place goes the number 4 machine. Nice move by the 4. Taking advantage of that mistake by Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard a little bit short right there as well. But it is Sullivan who takes over the race lead. And man, Luke Sullivan, inspired by the win last week, wasted little to no time to get... Oh my gosh, he almost got murdered by someone coming from the other lane right there. Sullivan stays up. Hey, how about Jeremy Smith? He's coming after these guys. He wants to get up here and try to win this heat race as well.
Yeah, I mean, 4th place start, and we were like, yeah, Jeremy Smith's just also back there. But, I mean, a couple of mistakes by some people, and he's also just looks like he's throwing down some heaters. He looks really good on this track here tonight and looks really feisty as he's back here kind of pushing. I'm going to honestly, I'd keep an eye out on him. If Luke Sullivan doesn't start pushing right now, I feel like Jeremy Smith's trying to move his way to the front and move his way to the front quickly. A couple bobbles in the whoops there, able to hold it together is Sullivan, but Smith right here getting this triple on clean, and it's going to come down, I feel like, to a couple of these 90s, how fast these guys can hit it while the ruts still haven't developed. Are they going to go inside, outside? What's going to happen? But Smith looking really racy right now, and Hubbard also not giving up. Still a couple, about a second back from Jeremy Smith here, who's just, man, these guys are pushing and they're racing. This seems a lot racier than the first 450 main did.
I feel like Jeremy Smith is... Sullivan's
Sullivan
down off the side of the track, so it looks like he got the on-off wrong, and now it is Smith into the race lead with Hubbard wheeling up behind him. Hubbard does appear to have a little bit more speed in hand, but Smith has been consistent, particularly in the whoops. A lot of guys making mistakes right there. I was just about to say, I feel like we're finally to the point with Jeremy Smith where, like, he feels a little bit to me like a Kevin Windham in this game. Really good style, but not the fastest rider on the track, and then wins, but not a championship to his name in the 450 class. I mean, he just looks so smooth and comfortable. It's not necessarily the fastest, but it is so efficient the way that Smith rides around the track.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, I feel like a lot of guys who are like the veteran savvy riders, we see him make a mistake right now, though, trying to go for that inside, just got on the brakes, but you've been around for so long, and you kind of just settle in. I even feel like it comes with age. You just settle into like this riding style that's maybe a little bit more like smooth and collected. You've played the game for so many hours. You just know what your bike's going to do in most cases, and it doesn't seem like you're pushing as hard, but you've got great style, and the lap times will just kind of come, and you never really seem like you're trying. It's almost like, yeah, like Wyndham or Sexton or, Hunter Lawrence, like these people that have such good form, it doesn't look like they're going fast. That's kind of how he rides in sim. But a little mistake there, and that lets Hubbard kind of open up this gap a little bit here. And he looks like he's going fast right now. Just the way he carries roll speed, kind of cuts down out of the corner. Just a little bit different riding style between the two guys.
Well, Hubbard is still looking for his first win of the season. It would be the second win of his career. He told me many, many times over the past year that he's just going to win the Denver Supercross again. He won it in 2022, wanted to win it again this year, but instead it was Luke Sullivan breaking through for a elusive first career 450 main event win. So Hubbard would still love to get on the board before the season's up. He's obviously got to go through Braden Carter and Alexis Leclerc to do that in the main event, but right now looking very solid in the heat race. Back to third place, Connor Holiak has moved up into the position, so he's gotten around a few guys. And then Chris Post just got stood up on the berm, so his buddy Nick Tomasunis is going to go by. Sullivan hits him from behind, and Post goes down. So that is unfortunate for him. Sonny Spicer goes through. There goes T-Lang. Trevor Spencer had gone up into sixth. And then Post is going to get going just before the 176 of Ohashi. In the final transfer spot right now is Chris Post. So Post, Ohashi on the 176, and Larson right behind him. Ohashi might not be wasting any time. He wants to go get around Post and get into this final spot.
Yeah, Larson back there as well after a good start. Man, look at that. So much speed through the outside. I couldn't even tell.
How did he stay up?
Oh, my gosh. Just thank you, JLD,
Option
for
lines.
kind
Look
of
at this.
fixing
Ohashi
that.
trying to come back up the inside, but Post ran it in, made the pass. Somehow Ohashi stayed up. Nose to tail. Triley's Larson getting absolutely backwards to death off the triple right there. And then Post, Ohashi slide out coming onto the start straight, and then slide out getting stood back up, coming back across. So Post has a little bit of breathing room now as Jeff Cooper gets in the mix. Terrific battle between these guys, though. I can't believe Ohashi stayed up because Post hit him pretty darn hard, and not too often you see guys stay up when a clash like that happens. Post sideways. Gonna lose some time.
Yeah, these guys are pushing it. This track seems really slick. I mean, we've talked about there's so many, not only 90-degree corners, but a lot of flat track stuff like this coming into and out of the finish line section. Look at that, though. Chris Post making another mistake. Ohashi was awesome in the whips last time.
Ohashi hits him and somehow breaking through. Jeff Cooper gets them both to go into the final transfer spot. But here comes Ohashi fighting back as the white flag is now waving for these guys. So final lap here in Salt Lake City. Little dualies off the triple here for this heat race position. Ohashi showing a nose. Not quite close enough. Cooper holds on.
Yeah, Cooper able to kind of fight through this little battle of Post and Ohashi just going back and forth. He's like, I just want to get through this and get away, guys. Can you stop kind of crashing and getting crazy? Cooper not making it super easy on himself. Ohashi, though, still pushing back up. He wants that final transfer spot. And when you're Cooper and you've seen this Ohashi kind of he's been rubber banding, kind of catching up, making a mistake and falling back. You know he's got the speed, so he's going to try to attempt to make a pass on you. And the whoop section has been his favorite spot. So let's see if Ohashi gets a good drive here and can make a run on the outside. He was trying to.
Oh, landed it.
Oh, my God.
Was going to lose some time. Meanwhile, up front, Jacob Hubbard will take the win in this heat race. The 78 machine gets it done. It's going to be Smith second. Sullivan has gotten up to third. He got around Holiak, so Holiak drifts back into fourth. Nick Thomas-Unis is up into fifth with Trevor Spencer right behind him in sixth. Lang's trying to get around Spencer, and he's going to do it because Spencer went off the track. So Lang up to sixth, Spencer back to seventh, Spicer here in eighth, Jeff Cooper making a few mistakes. Here comes Ohashi. Can he get close enough? He went for the quad, and he goes down. So Ohashi crashes it away. He is going to have to go through that LCQ now, along with Pablo Vial, as Jeff Cooper solidifies his ticket to the main event. P9 in this one. Vial, Ohashi, Hall, Blakely, Larson, Post, and Reyes will be headed to the last chance qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, Ohashi had to push for everything that he could, do to get as close as he could when you're on the outside looking in there, just praying that you can go as fast as you can and hope for a mistake. But Hubbard, man, great start and a great race right there. Jeremy Smith as well had a pretty good start, 4th, 5th place there, and was able to hold on. And then Sullivan had a couple of mistakes, and he's going to come in 3rd place. All of those guys looking for possibly a race win here tonight. Maybe, I already talked about it earlier, Braden Carter wants to win. But, you know, if something happens and he has to fight through some adversity, it's all about points, and that's all he's going to be worried about here. Getting ahead of Alexis Leclerc, taking home the championship. And if Hubbard gets a great start like he did in that heat race and has all year pretty much, I would not be surprised for him, Sullivan, any of these guys to kind of put on a good run and try to steal the show, win it 2 years in a row.
So I feel that this is obviously a championship. Huh?
What do you feel? Tell me how you feel.
I'm going to tell you exactly
how you really feel.
This championship's obviously been almost put away by Carter. Mm-hmm. And theoretically speaking, Carter and Leclerc are teammates. Do we see, though, that in the case, let's just super hypothetical, Carter needs points. Do his teammates help him? Or is it like because it's teammate on teammate trying to win?
That's what I'm like. They're all teammates,
right? So like they're. I feel like they're just gonna let it all be fair and square. There's no chance that it probably plays a factor whatsoever. But I'm curious if there's even that like little inter-team, just like we favor one guy more than the other type of things. You know?
I think so. I mean, I feel it could be like maybe they talked about it. You know? I mean, but the Phil's team is so big. It's like Star Yamaha times 2. So you got like 15 dudes there that are going to be racing for Phil's, and you know maybe 10 of them are friends with Carter and 5 of them are friends with Leclerc, you know, Leclerc being Euro and maybe not having as many Euro guys on the team there. Maybe they're not as close, but yeah, I don't know if they would have kind of gone out and said anything or if it's just going to be how the race develops, but I don't see definitely no like team tactics as far as like getting in the way, but yeah, maybe someone moves over if you're Carter's best bud and you're racing and he needs the spot, like you're going to give it to him. That's just what you're going to do. But right. Yeah, I mean, both these guys just got to go out and do it though. And for Leclerc, he has to go out and have a good finish, and Carter's going to have to do really bad. So honestly, I feel like even though there's a lot of Phil's riders, there's not enough people to kind of stop Carter from being in 15th to 10th, you know, or whatever the gap has to be. So I feel like each of these guys kind of hold it in their own hands, their destiny. So it's just going to be may the best man win. I don't think there's going to be too much foul play.
I hope that's the case, as I always do hope it's the case, but then you never really know, because we did have foul play somewhat ruin a championship a few years back. So hopefully nothing like that of the sort happens here tonight in either the 450 or 250 West Division. Speaking of 250 class though, first time since East Rutherford, right? Yeah, that we're going to see the East and West combined is coming up right now. Last Chance Qualifier will be in a combined Last Chance Qualifier. 11 riders from the East, 11 riders from the West of the riders that did not make the main event out of their heat races. So this is a little bit of a showdown within the showdown, and it's our favorite race of the night, Last Chance Qualifier, so it makes it even better.
Yeah, I mean, we got two coasts mixing it up here. I'm going to be all sorts of discombobulated now with all these guys mixing and mashing here, but man, it's going to be great too. So like we said before, you had to qualify in top 22 in your coast. So it's all about, it's basically like this is the back half of a main event combined from 2 different coasts. So these guys are still pretty skilled, right? It's not a normal LCQ where you have, you know, the bottom 20 out of 40. You just got the bottom 10 from each coast out of their top 20. So a couple of guys like Chromie who had some a bad start followed by a little bit of bad luck there with getting taken out, really looking to take this one home, and a lot of other guys that feel like they've been main event guys all year, and they're going to have to work really hard for these top 4 spots here. And I'm ready for some action.
Oh, yes, folks. Get ready for this one, folks. 5 minutes plus a lap to determine who goes to the main event for this East-West showdown. And it is 11 riders from each coast ready to do battle. Here we go. 250 last chance qualifier. Let's go racing. Not a great jump for Hunt. Out of the middle, it's the 76 of Nygren who's trying to get to the corner first. He's going to get the inside line pushed wide a little bit, and instead, Alex Carlo gets the whole shot. Hunt was able to tuck up the inside, and he's going to try to go to the race lead down the inside of the second corner, and he's got it. So Hunt into the lead. Carlo gets landed on, and a stack up of epic proportions coming through this corner onto the start straight. A lot of guys scrambling for position. It is Hunt who's going to lead the first lap, though.
Yeah, Carlo with a very interesting decision, how he kind of took that inside line, got landed on there. I would be raging if I was behind him and landed on him. But Nygren able to kind of come out on top, or not on top, but he's in second place with Chromie as well, who had a great start,
Nygren
just got pushed wide. Nygren through the whoops, getting some huckabuck, and basically stops. Just like that, your leader is making a mistake, and Chromie and Vanderbeek are both going to go by at the end of this rhythm section. They are now 1-2 with Cooper Hunt finishing up in third. And just like that, look, Braden Tharp right in front of Nygren, who had that mistake, but still a close 5th. So this top 5 right here, Nygren looking out on the outside looking in, and Braden Tharp holding 4th place. And these guys are tight up in front.
And really, any of these guys in this mix right here are guys we've seen battle for main event wins this year even. Chromie led all the way until the very end of one of them. And look at that line by Cooper Hunt tripling up the inside to get around Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek has been in the front in triple crown races this year. So Chromie, Cooper Hunt, a former winner in this series. Vanderbeek up here, Tharp, one of the fastest qualifiers here tonight. This is a really talented list of riders, and there's a chance that some of them don't even make the main event because you got guys like Nygren right up behind him, Schaefer, who podiumed last week, also going up into 5th. So some really good talent right in the mix here at the front of this one.
Yeah, Nygren really struggling in those whoops 2 laps in a row. But yeah, Vanderbeek, this top 4 now getting a little bit of a gap. But like we said earlier, this is such a deeper LCQ than you would normally have. So this top 4, they're looking to get on the gas and get away as quick as possible because there's so many more heavy hitters and they're normally going to be behind you. If you get a good start in an LCQ and you're riding first or second, just like that, a mistake from our leader. Chromie's going to try to go up the inside, jumps too far inside, has to jump a little bit wide to not hit the pixie stick. Chromie's still holding on to second place here, though. But that allows Vanderbeek to close up a little bit closer in third, and Tharp's still there in 4th. And a big gap still, though, to 5th. But these guys, man, they got to be pushing it. And the number 1 name of the game right now is do not put it on the ground. These guys got to keep going fast, but also stay up, man.
Yeah. As you can see, even Hunt hopping through the whoops ahead, and Schaefer has caught up to the back of this group. So Vanderbeek and Tharp are dealing with pressure, and Schaefer is going to go to the final transfer spot. Tharp, a slide out. So our 3rd fastest qualifier in 250 West just made a huge mistake and has gotten pushed back around into a position where he will not transfer to the main event. Meanwhile, Austin Schaefer is slicing and dicing his way forward. He's come from just outside of the top 5 into a transfer spot in a hurry, and he's all over Vanderbeek as Cooper Hunt coughs up the race lead again. Another mistake coming through that corner. Chromie takes it over. Hunt's trying to get it back. No room for error between the two of them as Chromie maintains the position, but Cooper Hunt is absolutely pushing to try to get around this, and he dualies over the finish line jump with him into the wall jump. And look at this. He's trying to get to the inside, but Chromie shuts the door. Oh, and he gets on the brakes and kind of brake checks him. Hunt goes down. Schaefer into 2nd. Tharp up into 3rd. And Hunt is going to pick it up still in 4th. So there must have been some crashing behind him. Here comes Carlo on the 257. He's hopping through the whoops. He's getting sideways. Almost gets into Hunt. He goes off the berm at the end. And Hunt maintains 4th place.
Yeah, Hunt fighting through a little bit of a guys kind of just going everywhere there. Able to hold on to it. But, man, he's got to settle down. He was up front already, and he's just got to get it back together and try to push away from these guys. So much crazy action going down. 3 dudes there at the end of the whoops. We see down as well. You don't want to be a part of that. Look at that. Ooh, going with the step over line from the inside, kind of off the side and then tripling out. I love that. Love that by him right there. Cooper Hunt just looking good, man. Being in fourth is not a good place to look. Not an easy place to look comfortable, and he shows a little crack in his armor right there as well. So Cooper Hunt, take a couple deep breaths, get it back together, and start pushing your way back up towards that top 3. And yeah, I don't know if that was on purpose by Chromie. You don't really want to brake check someone like that when you're in a transfer spot. So just a little weird if you just got off balance or what. But
yeah, it was weird. I don't know if he maybe felt that Hunt's actions leading up to that were a little bit much or something along those lines, but he did give himself plenty of a gap by doing it. So Hunt now 8 seconds off the lead and getting a little bit squirrely back here, starting to deal with a little bit of pressure. Maxime Vanderbeek back on the prowl, closing down from 5th place, doing the alternate line, which is the main line, I should say, step on, off, triple, double through the corner. And Hunt, who's been doing that over triple line, didn't quite work this time, so that gap has come back down. We've crested the 5-minute mark, and the white flag is in fact out, so it just barely had hit 5 minutes when the white flag waved for our race leader, Matt Chromie. Tharp still right on him, but the battle is right here. Hunt versus Vanderbeek for the final transfer spot, with Alex Carlos sending it into the whoops behind them, and he's down. Yeah. Huge crash. He was going through the whoops. Basically on the tough blocks for about 7 of those.
So fast and through the center of the tough blocks. Knew he was going to go down no matter what. Hunt here, though, just cruising now. Take a deep breath. Bring it on in. Someone else going cartwheeling through the whoops. These 250 riders especially having a lot of troubles in the whoops here today. They're a little bit of a short set, but they look super difficult here.
Like Cooper Hunt is going to be okay as he triples through the inside. It's a little bit close right there. Matt Chromie is going to pick up the dub. He's going to go try to kill Chris Watts in the main event. Braden Tharp in 2nd place. Austin Schaefer in 3rd. And Cooper Hunt will round out the transfer spot. He finishes in 4th place. Maxime Vanderbeek in 5th. Alex Carlos 6th. Bodie Parker 7th. Oh, and those guys are down together. Christopher McPherson is going to move up into 6th to round out his season. Parker misses the main event. Carlo as well. Ryan Anderson. Brandon Nygren. Timmy Briscoe. Ben Kaiafa. You also got Tyler Nichols. Michael just hanging out right there. Tom Quino. Jack Gatlin, Race Cobble, Jacob Kelly. Everyone's finishing off their season right here, right now, because they will not be in the main event, and they will not race another Supercross race this season because of that. So Chrome Dog puts it into the main on the 90 Phils Yamaha.
90 Phils. Look at him go. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. If you're Watts, do you even line up? Do you want to not be posterized so bad by Chromie? Because I would be scared if I was him.
Already got posterized by him.
No, I mean, yeah, but you're like, I don't want to get paid back. I just had his takeout was super sick, by the way. Like, Chromie's gonna be mad, but like that was awesome. But yeah, Chromie's definitely gonna be looking for redemption. But hey, he's back in there. He's gaining points. That's all that matters. He's just trying to go out and drop a top 5 in this championship or wherever he's at. And
oh yeah.
A little Canadian,
sure, just having a great time.
Just a little lax, bro.
I mean, Chromie is Canadian, right? So
yeah,
we get a little maple leaf on it.
Plays lacrosse. Oh my God, he's about to get swept in the second round. Terrible.
Oh man. Tharp finishing up in 2nd. Schaefer 3rd. And actually Schaefer jumped into 2nd there. Tharp dropped back to 3rd on penalties, and Cooper Hunt does qualify for the main event here tonight. So he's been one of our fastest riders all night long and just barely made the main event out of 4th. So fun little battle right there. Back and forth between those guys. Now it's time for our 450 last chance qualifier, final non-points paying race of the season. And then we'll have 2 main events to put a stamp on this 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship. What a season it's been. And hey, we talk about it all year long, how much we love these LCQs. Well, we got to soak it in. We only got one more left, A-Wood, to actually enjoy and hopefully have some good battles in.
I mean, yeah, one more 450 LCQ. The 250s are just a crapshoot, but the 450 LCQ, I feel like the level is that little bit higher, and they also just bring some crazy action. So hopefully these guys can do it for us here tonight. In the finale, just lay it all on the line and give us something to scream for, because I haven't screamed yet. I haven't maxed out my mic completely yet.
You told the chat to let you know when to scream, and then it never came. I was kind of just like waiting. I had plugged my ears at one point to make sure that it wasn't too loud, but nothing.
I mean, it'll probably happen in this race. If it happens, I mean, I'm going to blow up everyone's headsets, but it's okay.
You're going to be like that classic 3 a.m. sneeze when the people in the chat are already half asleep, and then you just like absolutely blow into your microphone.
I was talking to someone earlier, like, is that just something that happens with age, or do like dads just not like care that they sneeze at like 5,000 decibels? Because I hope I'm never a loud sneezer, and I'm just scared that it's gonna come with age. Like with my beer belly is gonna come, and then it's just gonna like everyone looks at you. Like I don't like attention like that. I know I talk a lot and I'm loud, but like I don't like attention in weird public places like that.
I do hope I'm the loudest. That would be a fantastic Guinness World Record to hold.
Do they have that? Is there a loudest decibel level sneeze?
I'm sure there's been a loudest recorded sneeze in the Guinness World Record.
But it's got to be fake. It's not natural. Like you're not doing that. That doesn't just happen. Like you have to try to like just scream and just like I can't even scream that loud because it's just ridiculous. I just hope that's never me. I'm going to be a quiet sneezer. I don't hold it in because that hurts.
Here's the thing, though. I feel there's a difference. There's people who purposely try to sneeze loud. Like, they add the extra, like, to it. Like, they're, like, literally screaming.
Yeah, that's like my dad.
But there are people that sneeze loud that, like...
It's just a normal sneeze, but it's loud.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what I aspire to be.
I can respect that because you're not, like, looking for more attention. You're just... it just happens. And you're not like a girl who's like, like,
that's like very like clippable sound.
Trying to just like hide it. Like just let it go how it needs to go. You don't need to put all the extra pizzazz on it because like you're just looking for attention. Like people that order fajitas at Mexican food restaurants, like you're just looking for attention. That's people that sneeze loud on purpose.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I like getting all of my sneeze out once, too. I hate multiple sneezes. So.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, that's just part of it as well. All right, we've built it up enough. 450 LCQ coming up. Here we go, folks. Final last chance qualifier of the year. Before we go to the main event, here we go. Oh, Larson, loop out and down, halfway down the start straight. Rockefeller on the 93 to the inside is going to control the inside of the corner and just barely get the whole shot, but Austin Bear jumps over, goes five, busts the huge 5, and Austin Bear is gone. See ya, deuces, grab the checkbook, he's out of here. Aaron Rockefeller in second place, already behind him though, as Chris Post settles into third, JR Reyes is in fourth, Caleb Hall with that decent start ends up in fifth, and Pachone in sixth behind it, so a good little group at the front right here. Post getting sideways in front of Reyes, but Reyes holding on to the final transfer spot.
Yeah, great start by these guys. Oh, we got a rider going down there. He is able to stay up. Reyes slides out. Oh, my God. People getting all sorts of topsy-turvy here into each other. Anthony Piccioni. Pablo Vial. What is this? Euro takeover? Kellen just hired all these guys. Caleb Hall,
from Florida, so... So Vial moving into the final transfer spot, got some pressure from Caleb Hall.
Look at these dudes, 5 dudes.
I know, Aaron Rockefeller. Look at these dudes.
Coming in
just
hot.
Guys being dudes right now out here. As Rockefeller gets into the side of Colby Eaglin. Forgot he's in this one. He just got landed on and absolutely slaughtered by, is that the 72 right there of JR Reyes? It is. So Eaglin has a huge mountain to climb to even make the final main event of the year, as he currently sits third in points, and he's 2 spots from being dead last in the last chance qualifier at the final round of the season. You hate to see it, but all these guys are absolutely going for it. Vial in the final transfer spot comfortably right now because he doesn't have much pressure from Caleb Hall, but they are closing that gap down. Rockefeller's right there. We remember James Ohashi going for it. Chris Post getting taken down. He got kicked sideways. I don't know where I'm going, but there's Post on the ground, so a few guys going to go by. Ethan Parks just went through. Rockefeller was down after the triple. Oh my gosh, all right, reset for a second. Bear leads still, Vial second, Pachone third, Hall fourth, and Ohashi right behind these guys in fifth. Let's go on board with Ohashi because we know he's loving to send it. 53-1 last time by. We'll see if he can close that gap down and get into the mix for this final transfer spot.
Yeah, man, just some crazy action here. These guys mixing the match in a little bit. Ohashi, was kind of yo-yoing back and forth in his heat race. So to see him kind of just be outside looking in, we know he's got the speed here. He's just going to keep it on 2 wheels here as he's chasing down this pack. Our leader's getting away a little bit, but we got 3 guys in the whoops at one time. And we got the rider go off the track, so that's going to get him close. Can he triple on? That's Pichon right there, and he's going to be on the outside here. Can he cut down? No, Ohashi goes up into the Davalos bales a little bit. Triples in, though, cleanly still. And Boner airs it like we said. You just can't do that. What happened?
What the heck was that? And then did he just disconnect?
He
Yeah.
did.
Why was he in 5th place? Dead sailor to disconnect.
I mean,
That was really weird. Did his controller die, you think, or something? And then just...
definitely looked like a rage disconnect. Yeah, like something happened, because we were just making a comment about how you can't hit a triple going exactly dead sailor straight. I don't know. Anyways, look at this. Matthias Janis, is he now up into a 3rd? No, 4th?
No, 6th. He's right behind Ethan Parks. So
close.
these guys are
Job,
5,
A-List.
6, 7.
So Pichon
Mikhail Pichon goes up into 4th place right now as Caleb Hall is just ahead of him in 3rd. Vial is now into 2nd as Austin Bear is still leading this race. But that gap that he did have is all but gone because Pablo Vial has caught him. So our front 4 have a little bit of breathing room for the time being. But hey, it just takes one person crashing for this to kick off again.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're up front, man, and it's crazy to see some of the names going across. Brandon Larson, Ohashi carrying up the rear in this LCQ, but just shows you how stacked this 450 class has been all year long, even though there's only a couple guys that look at that. Hall goes, or Bear goes down, so that's going to allow Hall and, dude, I'm so bad with
Pichon
names.
just went down too.
Where'd he go?
And he's back behind these guys. So Rockefeller up into the final transfer spot. Eagland is into 5th as Pichon goes up behind him on the 70, closing the gap down as this is 4, 5, 6 on your screen right here. So Eagland is trying to make the main event, but he's dealing with pressure from Anthony Pichon from behind as they're closing up on Rockefeller. Pichon down in the whoops, goes the opposite direction, and that is going to spell the end of his night by the looks of it because we're coming to the white flag. I think next time, it's going to be really close. But Eagland still has got to try to get around Rockefeller to make this main event.
Yeah, Eagland, though, battling through a lot of adversity in this heat, and then also in this LCQ, we saw him way back there, and now he's knocking on the door to try to get in here. He's chasing down Rockefeller, and look right here, he's going to make the pass as Rockefeller makes a mistake, ends up going wide. Colby Eagland slides right up into your 4th place transfer spot. Did not think that was going to be possible after we saw him so far back earlier on in the race. Just like that, he's got to set his sights forward and get one more spot. He's in the spot you want to be in. Yeah, you're in the main, but we always say you want one more insurance position, and that's what Eagland's going to be pushing for, as well as getting away from Rockefeller behind you. One good drive through the whoops, and he's going to be right back on the rear.
Yeah, they have started to reel in Austin Bear a little bit, who is in 3rd place, so that lead that he has had has fully dissipated. He's now falling back towards a transfer position battle here, and Eagland and Rockefeller are closing that gap down, so that's an opportunity for Rockefeller. And actually, there it is. Bear just slid out coming onto the start straight, and Rockefeller goes up into the 4th and final transfer spot. So Rockefeller just following Colby Eagland and trying to stay close to him pays off right there. And now can we see Austin Bear or maybe somebody else get back into the mix down the stretch here? Bear still just within about a little over a second. Ethan Parks right behind that, another regular main event guy back there. So coming to the white flag, this could get fun here with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, I mean, Bear can do exactly what Rockefeller was doing. You stay there in 5th place, you stay close, you keep yourself in the position in case anything happens. He just did it himself, so he's sitting there.
Rockefeller
and just like that, oh my God, he bike lifes the last couple whoops. He's able to hit the rear brake and bring it back down, but Bear's looking at that and saying, that's an opening I can use. I'm looking for anyone to make one little mistake, get myself as close as possible. There could be cuts, there could be one fall. So he's just got to keep himself close. You're not in the catbird seat, but you need to put yourself in the best possible position to capitalize on any little mistake that these guys make.
Look at this.
Just like that, different rhythm.
Oh my goodness, Austin Bear, could we get an absolute send into the final corner for an LCQ transfer spot? Final race of the year. Bear's going to get close. Rockefeller stacks up in the corner. Here comes Parks from behind. They almost get into each other. They cut the track. Ethan Parks to the flag is going to get 5th or 6th at the line. It is going to be Eagland finishing 3rd. Bear crossed the line 4th, but we'll have to wait for penalties. I can't believe Rockefeller threw that. Vial with the win. Hall 2nd. Eagland 3rd. Bear 4th. Unofficially right now, but we'll have to see if penalties come in because those guys absolutely cut the final corner, and there is a timing gate there as they re-enter the track from the other side going before the finish line, so they very well likely will receive penalties, and they don't get the position lost. Bear makes the main event by a nose. Rockefeller actually had more penalties, as did Ethan Parks, so they are going to miss the main event. But boy, oh boy, was that a fun little run to the flag to decide who makes the main event here tonight for our last chance qualifier this year.
Man, that was absolutely crazy. Bear putting on the move, not able to completely make it happen, but he stays with it, pins it off that double, jumps to the inside. He's able to take the 4th place position. They both are cutting those bales a little bit. I was so worried if he was going to be able to hold on or not. The cuts don't end up deciding anything, and Bear goes through final 450 main event of the year, and Bear takes it with a second to last corner pass. That was awesome. Like we said, you just have to put yourself in that position there. Bear was not in the spot. He wasn't even close enough to make the pass, but Rockefeller just jumped a little too deep on that double, got up into the bales all on his own, and left the door wide open for Bear to make that soft contact and come through with the 4th place and the transfer spot. So, man, awesome ride by Bear. That's why you never give up. You made a mistake the lap before, and then you capitalize on another small mistake in the final corner by your competitor as well. So great ride for Bear.
Good stuff all around to put a bookend on our last chance qualifiers this year, and sets us up fantastically for a great set of main events. So we're about to roll into the final 250 main event of the year. It is the second of 2 East-West showdowns, and it's the 9th round of 250 West, the 10th round of 250 East. The East Championship has already been wrapped up. Rasmus Balzer's got that. He won his heat race as well, but the challenge between Seth Shirley and Jet Holyhead is what is on the docket here and ready to do battle here tonight in this East-West showdown. 11 points in it. Shirley has been very solid this year. Had some trouble dealing with some, we'll just say, people last week at the final round of straight-up West action in Denver, but he did still finish second in that main event, lost some points to Jet Holyhead, who won. Now tonight, starting off the night with a little bit of internet issues. It does sound, based on a couple things that I've hit up some people in the time being, that this is an attack from some people that are wanting Seth Shirley not to win this championship. So if his internet cuts out and that costs him a title, just know, people, that that is a situation in which people literally decided Seth Shirley did not want to win this championship. And straight up, that's about as childish as it gets, is attacking someone else on the internet for the sake of you just don't want someone else to do something that you yourself cannot do. And it's because you suck at a video game. So we'll hopefully see some good straight up racing between Shirley and Holyhead here as we drop the gate for the East-West showdown and decide a 250 West champion.
That was awesome. Love that stuff. Man, 250 race is going to be awesome. We got these, I mean, we've already seen them mixed once, but man, I wish they weren't just so late in the year. I wish they did like 5 of these things throughout the year, so it felt more like a national championship between the two. Even though you have the opposite coast, it would suck for the privateers, especially in like real life. But it just brings such good racing, being able to see the two groups mixed up that we don't get to see all the time. I'm super excited for this race. We do have some championship implications that could come into it. If we see Holyhead have a great start, Shirley not have a good race, hopefully not on anyone else's, hopefully no one else gets any say in it. And if anything happens and changes with the championship, it's all up to the riders themselves and their own performance. But we'll be looking for a good race here tonight. And hopefully no one else trying to be Jesse Mullins and ruin it for us.
All right, folks, here we go. 15 minutes plus a lap on the docket. The best 250 riders in the world in Supercross in MX Simulator ready to do battle the final round of their championship. And it is all to play for combined coasts. Rasmus Balzer trying to get another win, trying to get in there, maybe play some spoilers. Gonna be fun to see how it all works out. Cooper Hunt, Talon Zollers, Matt Cromie, Bryce Whelan, Nathan Prynn, Chris Watts, Lucas Brune, Braden Tharp, Nico Marchini, Alec Horn, Ryan Pinkerton, Austin Schaefer, Evan Holt, Cade Matherly, Colby Hall-Payne, Colin Allen, John Heilman, Hayden Stevenson, and Rasmus Balzer in this one. Trying to see if Seth Shirley is here. He is. So Shirley is ready to go. Looks like the internet right now looks solid. So this is all to play for right here, right now. 11 points in it. If Seth Shirley can finish in 8th place or better, he is your champion no matter what happens. And Holyhead is obviously needing to win this, or at least finish in the top 3 to really put the pressure on. And if Holyhead finishes outside of the top 11, he cannot win the title no matter what. So Holyhead, pressure on a little bit right here to get it done, and Shirley pressure on obviously to just have a solid main event.
So 1st and 8th?
Yeah, 1st place, he would need 8th place. If Holyhead finishes 2nd, Shirley would need to finish 11th. And if Holyhead finishes 3rd, Shirley would need to finish 13th.
Okay. I mean, Holyhead's just going to bark.
Well, Balzer's here, though. And
Balzer's probably
Bryce
going to win.
Whelan's been pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of different storylines coming into this one that could make this interesting, more so than just for the race win, but of course for all the championship implications that come with it. So it is the East-West Showdown on the gate, ready to go here in Salt Lake City, but we're about to crown a 250 West champion for 2023. Here we go! Off the gate, pretty good start for Holtzy. Some bar banging into the first corner. Seth Shirley gets to the corner first. He pushes wide. He comes through, and Seth Shirley picks up the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. Jumping through the middle, though, Ryan Pinkerton is trying to take the lead. Balzer down the inside. Shirley gets punted off the track. John Heilman came in and pushed him out. So we've already seen a little bit of chaos as Pinkerton leads. Balzer into 2nd place. Whelan with a good start as Shirley gets back on the track. He looks like he is in dead last. I do not see Jed Holyhead either. As we're looking at the running order across the top of your screen, Holyhead looks like he's outside of the top 10, so Shirley has a lot of work to do, but so too does Jed Holyhead as Pinkerton leads this race with Rasmus Balzer right behind him.
Yeah, just like that, seeing Seth Shirley updating around 14th place right there, but still haven't really seen Holyhead's name anywhere. But look at this Pinkerton dualies. Oh my God, that was nasty. Balzer just, trying to get up front and just kind of check out like he has pretty much every time he's can this year towards the end of this year. Look at that little mistake trying to hit that line to step up there, bro. Pinkerton going to miss the rhythm as well. That's going to allow another rider to get up in the mix, and that's Colin Allen. He moves up into 2nd place pretty quickly there as they both stack that rhythm section. He goes down, makes a mistake, wheeling into him too.
Everyone stacks up in that corner a little bit, and that's going to give a pretty big gap actually in the end to our race leader at this point in time. So I just saw Seth Shirley as Bryce Whelan was down right there. Shirley has made it up into 11th spot, and 3 spots ahead of him is Holyhead. So at the moment, Shirley has the championship position in his favor. Riders going down. Holyhead sideways in the whoops off the side of the track, getting back on, and it looks like, was that Tharp down perhaps on the 20 as Shirley gets stood up in the corner as Cooper Hunt barges his way in. He's alongside Chris Watts. Watts almost short into this rhythm section, and then Chris Watts is checking up to allow him through, and then he gets sideways, almost gets into Shirley, jumps off the right side of the track and allows a few more guys to go through. So Shirley doing a good job making amends from those early issues that he had getting pushed off the track. He's in 9th right now, just needs to get one more position to make this thing his no matter what. But Holyhead up ahead of him is trying to charge forward. You got Colin Allen, Matt Cromie, Nico Marchini, Cade Matherly, and then our race leader Rasmus Balzer still ahead of these guys. Great mix of riders at the front, but this is going to be so interesting to see if Holyhead can make any dents on any of these guys ahead of him here.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Holyhead's got so much room or so much time he has to gain, and Shirley only has to get 1 spot. We see a mistake by Balzer, but he's still able to hold on to it. A lot of these guys going double single. There's that double that we tried to see earlier. So that's the safety line there. When you double single, you kind of got to break. Oh, and was that Shirley down?
I think it was after the whoops. Matherly,
looked like his gear.
And so Holyhead's up to 4th now. He just is ahead of Cooper Hunt. Colin Allen is in 3rd. Whelan is 7th, Marchini 8th, Brune 9th, Cromie 10th, Holt 11th, Pinkerton 12th, Hallpayne, Watts, Zollers, Heilman, Shirley is way back here. He's in 16th spot. This is in a position now where he is not going to clinch this championship as it runs. We're going to stick with him here for a minute to see if he can slice and dice his way forward. He's dealing with John Heilman, who was the rider who pushed him off the track at the start of this race. The Finca Motorsports number 43. Not sure why Heilman is feeling the need to do this to Seth Shirley. I don't know if they have beef with each other or what the deal is, but Heilman's certainly racing him quite hard, not only early in the race, but now in this position back here in 15th spot, and Shirley's just trying to get away and not have to deal with Heilman. And you can see Shirley's taking it really careful to block the inside lines and not give the 43 a chance right here. And again into this corner, he controls the inside line. He's just got to try to get away, but he makes a mistake and goes off the track. This is really starting to cost him now. So it's not even internet problems. It's just mistakes by Seth Shirley that are really starting to haunt him here.
Yeah, I mean, when you got someone like that who's racing you so hard and all you want to do is get up and move up in positions, but you got someone who's fast right on your rear end and you have to ride behind you, right? He's worried he's going to do something after that early move, and he just can't focus on his own race, and that's just going to get more in his head. He's not going to be completely focused on putting together his own laps and hitting his marks. And we've seen Shirley keep dropping back. I honestly didn't think it was going to be possible for Shirley to kind of miss out on this race with his performances that he's had. But man, if you have that stuff happen, I'm glad it's not a teammate. I hope it's not a friend of Holyhead, but man, Shirley's just got to really regroup and get this thing together because he is so far back right now. But look at that, a lot of guys in front of him, and that could mean really good or really bad. Hard to get through, or also easy, quick passes he can make if he puts it together. Start gaining some quick positions. That's 2 right there in one rhythm section.
Well, critical here is to stay on 2 wheels at all costs as he throws dualies with Nathan Prynn. Prynn going to tuck to the inside and block the line off, but you cannot crash here if you're Seth Shirley. Anything you do to stay on 2 wheels in this situation is an absolute must. As he continues to battle forward, I believe he's up to 13th place now. Oh, it's actually still 15th, so 15th spot right now, earning him 8 points versus the 21 that Holyhead is getting is enough to tip the scale the way of Jet Holyhead, at least for the time being. So Shirley's going to need a few more spots with Holyhead in 3rd, but again, he's behind John Heilman once more. So Heilman on the 43. We'll reiterate that Heilman took Shirley out in the 2nd corner of this main event, and he continues to try to block the lines off as Zollers. Oh, Heilman's going down. Shirley hits a rider, though, and goes down as well. He stays up, though. He stays up critically ahead of Pinkerton and a few others that were down. So he's up to 13th now, and that is a championship falling his way. More riders going down. He's going to go to 12th. So more positions gained for Seth Shirley as he continues to try to march through this pack. Meanwhile, Balzer leads from Hunt. Hunt has Holyhead right behind him, and Hunt out of the LCQ. Remember, we talked about how fast he was tonight, but Holyhead really needs to make this pass to do a little bit more damage. 3rd place is good, but man, 2nd place would be even that much better to help him towards this championship.
Yeah, I mean, every position he gets is only going to help that much more as they see a lap rider go down there. Holyhead's still chasing Hunt here. Yeah, we said if he gets 3rd, he needs to get 13th place or better. If he moves into 2nd, that changes to 11, and 1st to 8th. So that's what we got to watch out for. Holyhead needs every one of these positions that he can do. Honestly, or obviously, you need a lot of luck to kind of go your way to win this championship from Shirley and have that gap. But if you're Holyhead, every position that you can kind of have control over is very important. And then you got to just hope Shirley, keeps getting into trouble. We're only just under 7 minutes into this race, so less than halfway through the race still. So you got to capitalize on it yourself. So Holyhead needs to start making moves and making moves fast. And Hunt has been looking real sketchy in the whoops.
Yeah, Hunt definitely throwing it around a little bit in the whoops right there. And I think there was someone catching. I know Matherly I thought was right behind him, but it was not. It was a lapped rider that was going down. Had actually started to catch up to Holyhead in a little bit of a battle, but then he went down. So Matherly settling into 4th place right now as Bryce Whelan back on the charge has closed in from 5th right now. There's a battle for 4th place on the track. This is a good one as well between 2 guys that maybe didn't have the seasons ultimately that they wanted to, but have certainly been in the fight many a times this season. And the battle is continuing. It looks like Shirley just went down again by chance. I think I'm seeing him slip down the order. Let's see, he's back here. He is coming back in from off the track. He's 17th place now. He's going to pass a few riders that were down, but he's only up to now 16th as he got repassed by the 84. This is starting to fall apart a little bit for Shirley here. 16th place, only going to give him 7 points versus the 21 that Holyhead has right now. That is obviously a 14-point swing in the championship when he needs to be 11 ahead. He's going to cut across right there, move into 15th. He's trying to get Holtze for 14th. As the battle still continues right here. So he's in a spot where he can make a few quick passes and it really helps his case, but he really needs Cooper Hunt to stay ahead of Jet Holyhead as Evan Holt just moves outside, lets Shirley go through into 14th spot right there. Next up would be Tharp. Shirley kind of hopping through the whoops a little bit right there. He's collected himself well to get back into 14th, but he's going to need some of these positions and he's going to need them soon.
Yeah, this is going to be insane if we have a couple titles come down to the last few rounds and just have huge mix-ups like this. Not sure if we saw, I definitely didn't see, Shirley, what happened to him to drop all those spots again. But man, it's just like, I feel like he's just in his own head as well as the other riders, you know. So he's just got to really settle down and regroup. This is really going to test. We know he's got the speed, but his mental toughness here. Can you put it back together? But look at the track map there. He's in 13th place right now, and that's where he needs to be if Holyhead finishes 3rd. But 12th place is a pretty good gap. We're about 2 seconds in front of him, and then a really big gap to the next position as well. So Shirley needs to get on it and start making some passes here, and he's also got 3 guys on his rear end. So
Rider
just like
down
that,
at the end of the whoops.
rider down, that's going to be one more spot.
Up in at 12th.
That's what he needs. Stay on 2 wheels, wait for these guys to fall, and they will fall. Just work yourself way up as far as you can by staying on 2 wheels. You don't even have to go fast.
So, report I'm getting from chat is that Chris Watts teed up Seth Shirley, which I'm not surprised in the slightest based on how Chris Watts has been riding here tonight. And Watts also doesn't seem like he has anything to lose. Meanwhile, Holyhead has slipped back into 8th, so while all that was happening with Shirley, Holyhead has kind of imploded himself. He was in 3rd place. He was in a position to put that pressure on Seth Shirley for this championship. Chromie is going down ahead of him, so he's going to go up to 7th, but this has flipped the tide back the way of Seth Shirley as Holyhead continues to struggle. Another rider going down, but that was not for position, so Cooper Hunt's still ahead of Holyhead, but now this is a battle for 6th and 7th instead of a battle for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy because this whole time we're saying Holyhead needs to move up that one spot, help him out. And just like that, while we're watching that battle, Holyhead goes and throws it all away himself. So basically, you just gave it right back into the hands of Shirley. Shirley, you know, can kind of rest easy knowing that he's not in that position. Yeah, he can work his way back up. But just like that, he's in 6th, Shirley's in 11th. So a lot less kind of weight on Shirley's shoulders. And Holyhead needs to now put the hammer down again. We're 10 minutes and 45 seconds into this race. Not too much time to go here. It's looking pretty good for Shirley after Holyhead makes a couple mistakes of his own.
Yeah, let's give a reset of where we're at this point. Balzer has a quite sizable lead with 4 minutes and a lap left to go in this race. Cade Matherly has since moved into 2nd place. It is Holyhead who just now gets back into 3rd thanks to quite a bit of crashing of other guys around him. In fact, Cooper Hunt is way off the track, and he was way off the track with Colin Allen, so I'm not sure what happened right there. And Hunt just went down again coming back onto the start straight. So this is 4th place Colin Allen now. Cooper Hunt in 5th is picking it up as a lot of riders go by, including suddenly Seth Shirley in this mix. So Shirley has made pretty good amends to get into 9th place right now. Remember, he just needs to be 8th, period. But that's a rough go of it right there as he jumps off the track. Got to be careful here with track re-entry. Not get in the way of people coming back on. He's going to get shuffled back to 12th. But if he just takes a breather here for a second and doesn't get involved, he'll be okay. He's just got to relax for a second. Back into 9th place by the looks of it he goes, or actually 10th now. He just needs to get 8th to win this championship. Traffic is what they are now about to be because they're getting lapped by Rasmus Balzer, who is right behind this group suddenly. So they're going to have to try to move out of the way for the race leader while also battling for this championship. Up the inside goes Tharp, getting around Shirley, pushing him back to 11th. And that is Hunt jumping underneath Shirley. It doesn't put him down, fortunately. And that was Balzer that just lapped him, I believe, or is trying to lap her. Oh my gosh, Shirley is stuck because he's trying to let Balzer lap him, but Balzer's taking his sweet time getting there, and Hunt was down again coming back onto the start straight. Oh my goodness, Seth Shirley is going through a stress whirlwind right now, trying to deal with all of the championship implications that are involved here. Fortunately, 1st and 2nd look all but locked up because it's a 20-second gap back to Holyhead, so this 11th place finish would do it for Shirley if he can stay here. He also just needs to finish in the top 13 with Holyhead in 3rd place. So Shirley doing his job to stay here, but he's also got to try to let Balzer by. Cooper Hunt cutting the tough blocks, getting into the mix as well. None of these guys letting the race leader go by. Now Shirley's going to let Balzer go through, and then Balzer is going to put Cooper Hunt on the ground, which is much deserved because Cooper Hunt was being absolutely a horrendous lapped rider right there, and obviously was maybe trying to mess with Seth Shirley in the process. So finally, Cooper Hunt out of the way in terms of that lap traffic situation. Matt Cromie, Tharp, Zollers, Prin, all just up here. Lucas Brune, and then Colby Hallpaint also having a terrific race here on the 226, going through the tough blocks a little bit.
Holyhead to 5th.
Holyhead is lagging hard. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Looks like he had missed some timing gates. Maybe it resets, but I think he's still third. Because, yeah, he's ahead of Colin Allen, who is listed third on timing and scoring. And Holyhead is really lagging right now. It has not picked him up here in a little bit.
People suck.
I am not sure what is happening right now. But clearly Holyhead's still in the server going through timing gates. So at some point, timing and scoring should catch up to where he is.
It should go back. He's probably just going to get a little slow-mo and fast-mo, which is hard to ride when you're kind of in that situation there. But if he is back in third, he's doing the best he can. He was 28 seconds back before I saw him start lagging. But, man, it's just you're in third place. It's too little too late. He needed to get himself up into that first position that Balzer's in. Even though he's having a hard time, he's still not around Shirley. And now he's just kind of getting, I feel like, messed up. Everyone's messed up because there's been so much chaotic stuff happening around this lap traffic. But Shirley, man, he's just got to be thinking 13th or better, 13th or better.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're trying to get lapped. You're in a race.
Cooper Hunt is trying to unlap himself from Rasmus Balzer as Balzer's trying to lap Prin. And Balzer's had enough of it, man. Cooper Hunt has been in the way of Balzer several times and is now trying to pass him back to get around him. And Balzer just did a hard cross jump on Cooper Hunt, who again is a lap down. He's not racing for the race lead right now. That's Seth Shirley that was down on the rhythm lane right there. He's backwards, getting going as Zollers is alongside of him, and down was Balzer from the race lead. As Shirley picks it up in 10th, Balzer's going to now pick it up behind him as Zollers is battling with Seth Shirley for that 10th place position. But I think, oh no, that's Zollers making a small mistake right there. Oh my gosh, look at how rutted the track is getting as well. This track is getting absolutely beat down, and Cooper Hunt making a few mistakes now has Seth Shirley right behind him. Shirley cuts across, goes in hard on Cooper Hunt, and then Cooper Hunt is going to have Zollers tuck in behind him. Oh my gosh, Seth Shirley is dealing with a rigmarole of stuff right here as he crosses the line. Fortunately, Balzer, if he can stay ahead of him, Balzer just took the white flag, so Shirley might be able to try to put this thing to bed right here. But you also have to factor in as Cooper Hunt finally crashes hard in the whoops after sending it down the inside of Seth Shirley. Again, Shirley staying ahead of all this chaos in 9th. And you also have to factor in the fact that Matherly is getting caught a little bit by Jet Holyhead again because of all the crashing that has been going on with Balzer and everyone going back and forth. This is so crazy to keep track of everything that's happening, but it's Holyhead in third just trying to make more points up. Matherly up the road is catching Rasmus Balzer for the race lead as he continues to deal with all this lap traffic, and I'm going to be interested to see what he's lapped up to when we cross the line. So here we go. After everything that has happened, all the chaos that's going on behind him, Balzer dealing with lap traffic aplenty is finally going to bring this thing to the flag, and the East-West Showdown goes to the East champ. Rasmus Balzer gets it done in Salt Lake City, and he lapped up to 11th in the process. Matherly crosses the line second. That should solidify it. That is going to be enough points for Seth Shirley to win this title. Jed Holyhead is going to do everything he tried to get done here tonight and finish on the podium. Third place for Holyhead. Allen, Hallpayne, Tharp, Brune, and Shirley, who is clawed up to 8th, which is what he needed all along. It's not going to matter, though, because 11th place is a lap down, and he needed to finish 14th or worse. So this championship is going to fall the way of Seth Shirley through all the DDoS attacks, through all the riders coming out of the woodworks and using fake accounts to try to take him out this season. It doesn't matter who passes him here on out, because Seth Shirley is going to bring it home, and the 44 machine is your 250 West champ in 2023. Seth Shirley takes the 250 West title.
God, what an awesome ride by Seth Shirley right there. Just fighting through so much adversity. Him and Balzer, man, they went through the freaking ringer. I know Balzer was struggling to get around him for a while, but Seth Shirley's also racing for positions, trying to hold on to this championship fight. So it's like you kind of feel for both of them, but man, it was just getting crazy back there. Glad it worked out for both of them. Balzer gets the race win. Seth Shirley wins the championship. He is freaking stoked right now. Look at him running around bike humping. He is just super pumped, man. And, I mean, he deserves it. He fought hard all year long. Holyhead tried to come up from behind in the championship. Did his best that he could in this final round to get it as close as possible. But Shirley had destiny in his own hands and finally takes the championship by himself and wins this thing, man. What a great season in this 250 class. We've had so much chaos, and Shirley fought through adversity throughout this whole season. So congrats on Balzer for the win and Shirley for the title.
The champs hanging out with each other now. The newly crowned champs. Balzer clinching that East title a few rounds back, but solidifies it here tonight. Gonna say a little bit of a hello there to Colin Allen, who ends up 4th in this main event, so a solid effort for the 351 right there. And Balzer takes the 1E, as Seth Shirley on the 44 ride takes the 1W in 2023. Unbelievable finish to this championship. And Balzer Shirley walking home as the champions in 2023. Congratulations to them, your newly crowned AMA Esports Supercross champions, Rasmus Balzer and Seth Shirley. And officially as well, after penalties, Shirley did finish in 7th, even though he crossed the line, I believe, in 9th. So Shirley getting 2 extra positions. Maybe just the MX Simulator gods just saying, hey, you know what, man? There was too much stuff thrown at you. Let's just give it a little bit back to you as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, going through that main event, I mean, that looked like hell for everyone. Matherly, man, was just riding 2nd place the whole race, though. Great ride by him. He almost ended up winning because of how many times that, Balzer messed up himself, got into really bad lappers, had some crashes, and he fought till the end. He ended up having some cuts. A lot of cuts from some people, actually, kind of that I noticed here tonight, but maybe that last corner, people cutting those bales just a little bit. But, I mean, great rides by everyone. It's awesome to see that. Putting Jeff. Who's Jeff?
Jeff Balzer.
Jeff Balzer.
Great competitors tonight in Jeff and
Seth.
And welcome to Jeff Pretty.
Surely his name's not really Jeff, right?
Got him. Wow. Oh my goodness! What an unbelievable championship!
What a year.
That had about everything you could imagine in it.
I was getting mad.
I
felt so bad for Balzer. I felt bad for Shirley.
Look, straight up, aside from whatever Hunt was trying to do with Shirley or not, he was a terrible lapped rider for Balzer.
Shirley was pissing me off.
Or, Hunt.
Hunt was bad too. That whole pack, though, because it's like, yeah, you're 10 through 13, but you're under a second with the leader for a while. There's got to be like that consensus. You look, I mean, it was my specialty too. Blue flag passing. Someone lets someone go by, you just follow the leader. But there's almost like a consensus of like, hey, let's kind of all slowly move our race to one side of the track, a little bit slower. But I mean, Balzer was getting screwed, man. He would have been checked out and gone with a 30-second lead still if he was able to get past that one little pack. But then Shirley also kind of had to fight through with Hunt and just all that stuff kind of going crazy. So, I mean, it all worked out in the end. Holyhead gave it his best, ended up pretty close to the race lead, a lot closer than he was. He was 28 seconds back, ended up only 14 off the lead. So, I mean, both guys, they tried, man. Came down to the last round, and it's cool to see something go down to the finale, and actually have a chance, because we have, 16 points now in the 450 main, and when was last time we saw someone get worse than 15th place or whatever, when you've got Leclerc and Carter both in the race? So gonna have to keep an eye out on that.
Well, we'll see. 16 points in it between Alexis Leclerc and Braden Carter, as you mentioned. So for Carter, it is literally just 13th place or better to make the math simple. Obviously with Shirley, he needed 8th or better, which was a little bit tougher to do, and this 450 class has been a little bit depleted down the stretch, and it doesn't help the case either that a lot of the guys we normally see race the opposite coast on a 450 and maybe make things a little bit closer, a little bit more interesting with that top group, obviously just raced the showdown instead. So depleted field for the 450 class doesn't help Leclerc's case, but it's still MX Simulated at the end of the day. It could take a bad start, some crashes, Carter getting in his own head or something along those lines. And Leclerc at least still does mathematically have a chance to win this title here tonight. So that is the storyline rolling into tonight. 16 points in it. Chat seems to believe it's going to be Leclerc with the win in this main event. And Carter going to play it safe, or is Carter going for it?
I feel like they're both going for it. I feel like they can both go for it. And worst case scenario, what does it have to be? 1st and 15th or 1st and 16th to?
1st and 13th would get Carter the title. So 1st and 14th for Leclerc, 14th for Carter would be Leclerc champ.
But yeah, I mean, a little bit of a depleted field. You're losing all those 250 riders that have kind of gone in there and played spoiler. I think they're just both going balls to the wall for it. You don't get a big bonus like you do in real life for taking the dub, but I mean, you still want to go out there and win, end the season on a high note. Both these guys want to carry momentum into the outdoors. And Leclerc, I mean, he gave it his all too. It's not mathematically out of reach, but it's also not, the chances of an injury. It's not Denver, with Tomac. Like it's going to be a long shot for Leclerc to get this title, but he's definitely going to go out there and try to throw down. I mean, I think they're both going to go out for the win tonight. And, maybe we don't see a super close championship battle, but I think we do see a damn good race here tonight.
Well, it's super, super rare, but MX Simulator has seen a random Windows update cost someone the championship lead in this game before. Fortunately, that, I believe, was Tyson Fresquez at round 10 of the 2016 championship. But it has happened before. So Fresquez was able to come back and still win the title. You never know. Computers aren't completely bulletproof. A weird file, a crashed game, something like that is all it takes for a quote-unquote mechanical DNF on the side of Braden Carter, which is why you never really know what could happen until the checkered flag waves. But at least for Carter, doorstep of history for him if he can win this title here tonight. The first and only rider ever to three-peat a Supercross 450 championship in this game.
Look at that gear. That's fun.
Yeah, some wild
nice Tiger helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know who it was. The guy, Holyak, has that orange Ricky Carmichael looking gear, so he's going to be easy to spot here on the racetrack tonight. Was that Holyak? I don't even know. The Cowie you were on earlier with the orange gear, he looks good.
Looking good.
Looking good. But Braden Carter, Leclerc has been running all blue all year. Thank you, because it's so easy to tell who you are. A couple times Castellaneta was running it, and I'm like, stop, dude. That's the only way I can point someone out.
Yeah.
It's about to get nuts.
Oh, folks, strap in.
Hubbard
final
whole shot? Question mark?
Hubbo whole shot. I think we can bet on that for sure. All right, here we go, folks. Final 450 main event of the year. Round 17 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross is upon us. We have made it all the way to the end of the season right here, right now in Salt Lake City. Let's crown a 450 champion and get it done. Oh, JS4 down halfway down the start straight. Looks like he brought Castellaneta with him. Tyler Lang controls to the corner, pushes a little bit wide. Up the inside, Jacob Hubbard rips the final race for Gaming.com whole shot award of the year, and he gets landed on by Lang. Oh my goodness, Lang was going for the quad overline where Hubbard was going for the on-off quad, and it completely shuffles the field in an instant. Braden Carter to the race lead.
Yeah, there's a million other riders down here too, so it's Braden Carter. It looks like that's Luke Sullivan and then Alexis Leclerc right there in third, so the championship contender is not too far apart here, but Braden Carter exactly where he wants to be. Sullivan right there in second, and yeah, Leclerc, I mean, even if he moves up, he can make this a great race for us to end, but it's going to be really hard to see anything changing with the championship with the way this race has started. Maybe we just might see one good last battle before these guys kind of reset and head into outdoors.
Yeah, let's see what happens with Carter, if he's going to try to sprint away and win this main event, or maybe he's just going to settle in and go for this title. But he also knows that outdoors are not his prowess, so to get one more Supercross win under his belt would really help him out going into the outdoors and maybe build a little bit of momentum, as you had mentioned. So Carter trying to get away. Luke Sullivan is not letting him do it, man. I'll tell you what, Sullivan coming off that win last week, his first career 450 main event win at Denver last week. Sullivan looks like a completely different rider, I feel like, over the last 2 weeks that we've seen him. He looks fired up, he looks confident, in control, and arguably maybe the fastest rider on the track already.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have like that raw speed, but it seems like he's got a little bit of everything. He's not like the super put together guy that's super consistent, but a little bit slower. Like he's got it where it counts, and he's just like he's like an 80 overall, guy. He's just not like, nothing's blowing you away, but he's just been so good towards the end of the season. And I'm like, I don't know where that came from. It seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. And man, I bet you he was wishing he felt like this at round 3 or 4, coming into the season.
Oh, Carter.
Early. Look at that Carter in the Davos Bales, goes a little deep.
Woo! And then gets back on right in front of Leclerc and puts the 7 machine to a dead stop. So Leclerc had to check up. Almost got passed right there by Caden Speck as Speck closed in on the 89 from behind. But now Leclerc has the prime target right in front of him, right for the picking if he can go after Braden Carter and try to pass him as Luke Sullivan works on pulling away. So let's go on board with Leclerc. 53 flat last time by, lap times will start dropping as the track wears in a little bit because the ruts will start to form. It resets after every single race, but then the ruts start digging in as the race goes on. And Leclerc putting the pressure on Carter now to try to push him forward, and maybe they can go back after Sullivan, who in his own right out front is just starting to kind of creep away just a little bit, man. Luke Sullivan on a mission here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to watch Braden Carter right now and just see how fast he's going, and then see that lap time or that gap that's going a little bit further, and that Sullivan's going faster than this. Like, these guys just seem like they're on another level, and there's no way you can ever go faster when you see this onboard camera. But I mean, they're doing it. They're matching. The gap's going between 1.2 and 1.3 right now. Braden Carter, as we get your title screen back up there, excuse us. Braden Carter still chasing now, finally getting a little bit closer. But our third and fourth place riders right there, they're not losing time either. Carter with a little miss on that triple. Just like that, Leclerc's like seeing a little crack in the armor there as well. And then our fourth place rider dropped off there a little bit. So it's basically these three just kind of chasing after each other. We'll see what they can do. If Leclerc can kind of make this interesting, or if Sullivan can get 2 wins in a row for his first ever career 450 wins.
Yeah, Sullivan is certainly putting it on at the front of the field right now, and Carter has not been able to keep the pressure on Sullivan in the race lead as Speck has dropped back from this group just a little bit. It's Adam Holm and Colby Eaglin going at it for 5th place right now. This is a nice little fight. Eaglin, who had to come up through the LCQ, just trying to work on the 17 of Holm to the inside here after the tunnel jump. Holm is going to try to shut the door, but Eaglin still takes advantage, gets the pass done, and the 24 is up into 5th place. Hubbard coming up from behind after that first lap crash with T-Lang now finds himself in 7th, just behind Adam Holm. So more jockeying of positions between all these guys as we sort it out early on. And back to the lead group. Leclerc starting to inch up just that little bit more on Carter, as Carter has not been able to make any more inroads on Sullivan, and Leclerc instead is doing a really good job of just inching closer to him. Of course, this isn't for the title whatsoever. Leclerc needs a lot of help with Carter slipping down the order, but if you're Leclerc, maybe just a little bit of bragging rights and being able to beat Carter straight up at the last round could get your confidence back up going into outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even completely like winning the title too. I mean, 16 points right now looks, kind of like a lot. They've been kind of rubber banding, and he definitely got it down from what it was with a couple, not less than ideal finishes by Carter. And Carter, making a couple mistakes of his own right here. But if you get that down to like an 8-point gap, and you say, listen, I'm a championship winner, right? I've won before. My name's Leclerc. And I got this thing down. I fought all the way and got it down into single digits. I only lost this title by 8 points. Like, that's awesome. When you go and look back at your career, it looks a lot better. And you fought till the end and you gave it your all in every single race, even if it doesn't mean you can take home the championship. Leclerc's never giving up. So it would be awesome to see if he can just kind of keep pushing right here. And they give us a good, little nightcap to this series that we've been watching all year.
I'll tell you, I feel like Leclerc is starting to push Carter into Sullivan a little bit. And another thing about it is we're starting to hit lap traffic here in not too much time. In fact, there is already a lapper of, I think, Eduardo Simos down at the top of the berm that they just went by 6 minutes into this main event, already starting to run into lap traffic. And of course, Sullivan will hit them first. But this is a 3-rider train at the front of the field here in Salt Lake City for the finale of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross. Sullivan, Carter, Leclerc looking to get the dub here tonight in SLC. And Carter now has got the pressure dialed right up against Luke Sullivan. It's no longer Leclerc that is trying to make a pass on Carter. It's Carter trying to make a pass on Sullivan.
Yeah, look at him right here. I mean, it did feel like he was getting pushed, right? He was losing some time to Leclerc, getting pushed up. And just like this, he's about to try to make a pass. He goes inside there, not going to get the same drive in the whoops. Does he keep it clean?
Oh,
yes,
Sullivan down hard anyway.
Oh, my God.
Big
Sullivan goes
crash.
cartwheeling just like that. Carter able to make that inside line work, stays clear of the cartwheeling Sullivan. There's another lapped rider going down right there, I think. And, man, now it's just a mano-a-mano race up front. Alexis Leclerc trying to chase down just about a second apart from Braden Carter. And so, basically, this is all about bragging rights. This has no effects for the championship at all, but these guys want the bragging rights. I won another race against you. I went head-to-head, and this is going to feel so much better going into the outdoor season. and these guys are just going to be laying it all on the table, trying to one-up each other. Right now, though, Braden Carter pushing a little bit further away than Leclerc, so going to have to keep an eye on this and see what happens.
Yeah, lap traffic is definitely about to come into play. They're running into a group of 4 or 5 of them just in front right here. Is that Sonny Spicer on the 95 and Nick Tomasunis just ahead of them. So again, Carter, like Sullivan, will hit them first, and that might be a bit of a detriment to slow him down. But it also might help because those guys might move aside to let Carter by and not know Leclerc is that close, so they'll jump back in line, and then Leclerc will almost get into them. Here we go. Now they both swing wide. Leclerc is also going to squeak through Tomasunis. Sonny Spicer's going to let him go as well. So Leclerc, and then Leclerc slide out, stacks it up a little bit on top of that table, and then those guys that he just lapped go right back by. They continue their battle. Now they're going to try to maybe move aside again. Leclerc trying to split the gap between the two of them as Spicer squares up the corner. Tomasunis is just trying to get off the track to get out of the way, but to stay ahead of Spicer. And Leclerc now maintains second position, but not before Carter opens up just that little bit more of a gap, and it's not as close as it was.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things as Alexis Leclerc there. When you make a pass on someone and then you make your own mistake and let them go by again, it's really hard because they're like, I just let this dude by and then he made his own mistake. Why am I going to let him by again? So good that Leclerc was able to get back by those 2-lap riders there fairly quickly. Look at him going around some other down riders. He's only 2 seconds off the rear of Braden Carter. Still fighting and still definitely close enough. We're not even halfway through this main event so far. So Leclerc going to try to just get back in a rhythm here. And yeah, the closer you are, I actually think the closer you are to the leader, man, Leclerc's just pushing too much that edge of traction. I've seen him push his front end a couple times, and there's his rear end again there. He's just been, you see it over and over all night. He's just been fighting to find that edge, and he hasn't been able to find it. Looking a little bit like Davalos or a little Sexton-ish out there.
Well, we always talk about Leclerc in Supercross too, that he doesn't seem to gel too well when the track really erodes in later in the races. And we saw that 250 main, it got pretty choppy in a lot of spots. So I'm curious to see how Leclerc is able to react to that as it ever changes. It looks like Carter just shorted the Supercross triple a little bit. So Leclerc going to see that, maybe close that gap back down just a little bit more. And then Sullivan's still in third place, just kind of all by his lonesome because Hubbard and Eagland right now going at it, diving through lap traffic. Hubbard slips back to 5th as Eagland now moves up into 4th as they're going at it. You got Tomasunis just right behind Eagland, shows him a little bit of a nose right there. And then Hubbard also dealing with more lappers. Here's Jeremy Smith. He's moved up into 6th after going down halfway down the start straight.
He was way back.
Yeah, got tied up going into turn 1. Ended up going down and had to collect himself, go through the field, and now is into 6th place. But he's going to go down. No, saves it right there. But will lose a spot to Trevor Spencer and T-Lang in the end. So Spencer and T-Lang moving forward, and T-Lang might get a spot on Trevor Spencer. Yes, Spencer tries to square it off. Lang's got it. Good little fight there between those two, though.
Yeah, these guys battling. It's always fun when you find a battle kind of, back 7, 8, 9 area of the pack, and these guys are just fighting to the death here. It's really awesome to see that the way that these guys kind of battle, it's a little bit more aggressive, but also smaller mistakes. It's just so much more action-packed, it seems, than when you're watching like a battle between Leclerc and Carter, where it's just consistency in lap times. Jeremy Smith made that mistake, dropped him right behind this battle. So now this is probably going to end up being a 3-way battle here soon as these guys tighten back up again. But Colby Eagland, man.
Oh, Carter went down. Sorry, I was reading the chat there for a second.
Oh, you're good.
Went to the front, and Carter has gone down. Leclerc has taken the race lead, so Carter... Oh, and he's down again. Huge one in the whoops. Got a bad kick, and he's off the bike again. Eagland not close enough with Sullivan as he just got around the 11, so Carter's going to pick it up in 2nd, but Leclerc now with a sizable advantage. Back to that battle for 3rd, and it looks like Eagland just maybe got the pass done on Sullivan, so now can the 11 respond and keep this battle alive for the final podium position?
Yeah, bummer to see Sullivan kind of dropping spots there after that great start. Felt like he was going to fight up front, try to play spoiler for the race lead. But man, Colby Eagland, his story of this night as they're fighting to work their way through lappers. There we go. Sullivan with a little slide out there, losing some spot. But man, Eagland had just such a terrible start to this night. Going to the LCQ, having to fight back, and then now he's just up front. I'm just going to get the podium. No big deal. It's all going to come together when it matters. And man, Eagland's he just seems so consistent when it comes to the main events, and he has been all year. And he's such a great storyline just watching him all year and the success that he's had throughout the year, starting off winning Triple Crowns. Sullivan, himself coming up and starting to peak towards the end of the season. These guys are really just kind of coming into their own, and they've been around for a long time now, and it's just cool to see them still kind of making progress and figuring it out, even though the beginning of their seasons were a little bit rough.
Yeah, Sullivan doing a tremendous job down the stretch right here to really turn his season around, and Colby Eagland really just trying to lock down third in this championship. I'm pretty sure he's already got it on points anyway, but up and down year for Eagland, 2 Triple Crown wins, so 2 main event wins essentially, and didn't really get anything else accomplished I think that he wanted to this year, but another podium always feels nice to round out the season. We're past the halfway mark in this main event, and Leclerc is probably just about to consider putting it in cruise control, but he's also lapping some pretty high-profile riders. In fact, I want to see where Castellaneta is. What did he just lap? 11th place, so 11th going a lap down. And remember, for Leclerc to win the title, Carter needs to finish outside of the top 13. So this is a situation where
it's impossible.
Yeah, it's starting to fall into the impossible realm unless Carter has a DNF, because the rider getting back on the track right in front of Leclerc. Not sure if that
Not
was
what you want to
Simo's
see
again.
when you're leading a race.
Just a guy coming backwards.
Dude,
but,
just...
I think it was again. Yeah, Simo's going backwards on the track, getting it righted. But rough night for the Brazilian rider back there. Leclerc just hitting his marks, though, looking to pick up his, I believe, what would be his 20th career Supercross win, because Carter was the one who got there first. They were both kind of battling for that 20th career win, but Leclerc going to get another big milestone win here tonight, so he'll potentially win the battle, but not quite win the war. But, I mean, hey, I'll take 20 Supercross wins in my career. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, zeros looks it's just a 0 with a 2 in front of it. It's not that special. We're pretty much the same. I mean, Leclerc, man, and he gets into some down riders, so that's going to shake things up a bit. Castellaneta's going to go by. He's going to unlap himself, but he's still got a big enough gap. Luckily, Leclerc doesn't go down, can avoid that coming out of that left-hand 90-degree corner. He needs to reset here. Just lost a couple of just lap rider spots. Didn't actually lose a spot there, so he's going to have to work his way back those guys, but pretty light work for Alexis Leclerc. Spencer Turkey in 14th. A little solid showing.
Oh, Leclerc almost lays it down again.
Dude, his traction, like, he can't find it. It's so weird. I mean, he made a mistake coming out of the whoops, but it seems like he's just on those Pirellis. They're just slipping and sliding there, just like they're riding on rocks. It's so weird. I don't know if it's his suspension, because he's famously always ran like this really hard suspension, right? So it's not letting it like kind of settle and like sit and grab. But I saw Luke Sullivan kind of a little bit of that sort of stuff too. He kept sliding, coming, and he hits the pixie stick, and he goes down!
And Carter is going to take the lead because of that, but he actually hit Leclerc before he did so. So now Carter back into the race lead. Leclerc picking it up in second, gets hit from behind again. And Colby Eagland coming through the rhythm sections, now going to smell a little bit of blood in the water. Eagland could still stand a chance to win this race if things really go haywire as Carter continues to deal with lap traffic. By the way, we are about to hit our 20th lap of this main event, and we still have 4.5 minutes plus a lap to go. This is probably going to crest into the 25, 26 lap range for this main event, and you can tell the track is certainly breaking down in a lot of areas. It's coming harder and harder to clear some of these jumps for these guys. Look at how big some of these ruts are that they're hitting as well.
Yeah, I mean, this track is breaking down so much more. We're on lap 19. Not even 16 minutes into this main. So, yeah, the 250 main went about 18 laps. This one's going to get way up there, probably 26 plus. Was just doing some rough math earlier, but, man, they got 4 minutes plus a lap to go on this 52nd lap track. It's probably not going to get 26. My math is terrible. But Braden Carter, man, these 450s are just completely eating up this track, and they still got so many laps to go. Look at that, like that step on line too. It's normally like that weird finesse line, but it's just breaking into where that's just what you have to hit. Whoops, not breaking down as bad as I thought, but some of these ruts coming out of these corners are pretty big too. So, I mean, these guys still got to hit their marks, but I mean, when you're Carter, it's like you have to basically fall and then fall and do that about 15 more times to where you end up getting lapped by whoever passes you, or just DNF right now. So, I mean, championship basically on lock, but like we said, still wants that win in those bragging rights, and navigating these lappers as they keep getting closer on the short track and all these ruts is going to be tricky.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job so far as more and more riders kind of fall by the wayside. Meanwhile, Jacob Hubbard has slipped into third place, so Colby Eagland had a mistake somewhere, and the 78 took full advantage to move forward up onto the podium. So this would be a solid way to end his season if he can for Hubbard into the final podium position. Eagland's still in the 4 ride. And then Sullivan rounds out our top 5 now. He's definitely lost touch with this front group, but man, you can just see how gnarly this track is getting. Even as they come across the start straight right here, I want to key in on Adam Holm as he goes into this double. So he's going to ride the bales right here, and then there's even like braking bumps coming across that start straight. So Jeremy Smith, watch, is going to go double through this corner and almost go down and almost get his head sawed off by Caden Speck. But
yeah, look at that. There's chop right there.
Little chop going into that double right there. So this track is certainly taking a bit of a licking as actually Hubbard just went down and Eagland is back into a podium position once again.
Yeah.
Just over 2 minutes to go here.
Yeah, Hubbard with that mistake puts Eagland right back in there. That 3rd place that he fought so hard for. Finally got back into it. Oh my God, almost landed on the inside of someone right there. Goes kind of under him as, I mean, just kind of getting sketchy. These lap riders are like, you know what, I've been lapped 85 times already in this race. I don't want to move anymore, but you know, you have to eventually, guys. You got to let him go. He's in 3rd, but I mean, yeah, we'll see if he can get some clean air right here. He's going to make this pass on the 83 through the whoops. Can he get number 58 by the end of it? He will. He lets him go by. Good lapper right there. Eagland just solid 3rd place in a solid season so far. Good to see him finishing strong.
Yep. Solid podium on the docket if he can hold here. And I just noticed that Leclerc went down again. So Carter, 13 seconds in hand on his way to his potentially 8th win of the season. And I believe it would be the 22nd win of his career, as Leclerc might have to deal with Eagland before long. Eagland's kind of inched forward in this battle a little bit. Oh, and Hubbard just went down again, coming back onto the start straight. Look at that rut that he just landed in as well. That thing is super dug out. I think he landed in it and knifed the front end and lost no positions, but a lot of time to Sullivan as more riders come into the fray. Adam Holm here in 6th, trying to weave through these guys. Caden Speck there in 7th. Caleb Hall 8th. Jeremy Smith is 9th. T-Lang rounding out the top 10. Castellaneta, Jeff Cooper, Trevor Spencer, Pablo Vial, Colton Mitchell's down, Thomas Sunas, Bear, Simos, Spencer Turley back here getting put a lap down, Sonny Spicer, Devin Davis, and Connor Holiak out of this one. So D. Davis coming across the line. Just kind of giving everyone a little bit of fair share here down the stretch because we are almost done. Oh, and Leclerc down again.
Later, Leclerc. Yeah, I mean, these 450 mains, it's like you're just in a battle for 12th through 15th place and no one even sees it. Like, we've seen Thomas Sunas kind of getting lapped. That all-white gear is easy to see a couple times so far this race. And, like, he's still out there grinding and fighting. It's just that these other guys are on a completely another level. And anyone in this 450 main event, you know, Devin Davis is in 21st right now, not having the best, but he's been a top 10 guy in main events this year so far. So it's like you got to just kind of see that it's not easy, man. When you see Leclerc and Carter doing this, Eagland as well, week in and week out, it's like these guys are just on a complete another level here, you know. Smith was running up front, looking good all day, and he dropped back to 8th. Tyler Lang 10th. So, yeah, it's just these guys are fighting for their lives. Leclerc is losing it.
I think he's over, and I think the focus is gone. It's been a
25
long
laps.
Championship fight. The track is brutal at this stage of it, and it looks like Colby Eagland has been pretty much all but handed 2nd place in this race. But the story of the night, the story of the year, is Braden Carter once again. Once is nice, twice is nice, and thrice is the nicest. Braden Carter is about to be a 3-time MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross champion. Nobody has won 3 in a row, and only one other rider has won more than 2, and that is, of course, Tyson Fresquez. So Braden Carter about to join some very elite company in this moment right here, right now. A terrific season. It's going to be the 8th win of his season this year, the 22nd of his career. Braden Carter is your 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross champion.
Man, what an insane finish. I mean, so hard fought, so many great races as we see Colby Eagland coming across in 2nd after that downfall from Alexis Leclerc. Luke Sullivan coming up after getting his first win last weekend. He's going to follow it up with a 3rd place at the season finale here in Utah. Sullivan coming across the line in 3rd. Alexis Leclerc is somewhere back here. There he is. He's coming across the line in 4th after leading back and forth. Adam Holm going to round out the top 5. Crazy race right here. 25 laps by our lead lap riders. Adam Holm with the top 5 there. Another great ride as well. So much adversity here. Hubbard, after the whole shot, drops back to 6, able to survive this crazy track as everyone is hitting the invisible wall and dropping like a bird that's flying into a very clean window. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh my goodness. Wow. What a race. What a season. And Braden Carter is once again your champion. Wow. Just truly unbelievable, remarkable the way that it all came together, the way it all worked. And many, many congratulations, of course, to Braden Carter. All right. We're going to roll back in studio here with you guys for just a minute. And while we do this, Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, we're going to line up an interview with Seth Shirley. He said that he was up for it. I didn't want to push anybody to do it if they were not up for it, but we're going to get Seth Shirley on the line here. So we're actually going to jump back to our intermission screen, and we're going to talk with the champ here in just a second. So give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and pull it up. And yeah. Whoops. All right, there we go. Where did I just put that?
I
somewhere.
don't know where it went.
All right, let's go ahead and give Seth Shirley a call and see if he is able to pick up and answer the line here. And we'll talk to him here in just a moment. See if he answers the call. There it is, the new 250 West Supercross champion, Seth Shirley. Congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels a lot better considering that I had people being involved when they shouldn't be for the past 4 rounds.
Yeah, you definitely were caught up in a lot. You were caught up in some more stuff tonight. Just kind of take me through, what's even going through your head and your mind as that main event's going on, and you crash a few times, you end up outside of a position that you need again, and then you have to fight back. Just take me through what's going on.
I kind of just tried to do the same thing that I did around 14 at the first ESO shootout. I was dead last coming around the first lap of that one too, and I came back to third in that one, so I knew that as long as I could just try to avoid as much carnage as I could, I should be able to get up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say once you pretty much knew if Holyhead got third, or we knew you had to get at least 13th place. Do you feel like that? I know there was a lot of other stuff going on, but do you think just qualifying for the main event was just what you need to do? Did you get at least a little bit of sigh of relief making it into the main event pretty early, like through the heat, and just knowing, okay, I got through that? Because we've seen people miss main events so far this year already.
Yeah, making it through the heat definitely helped a lot, considering that round 14 I had to go through the LCQ. And during the main, I actually had no clue where Hollywood was. I raced just with Bryce, and we had no spotter. So I just tried to put down the best of laps I could and just get as far up as I could.
Well, obviously, winning the championship is always an elating feeling, but obviously it probably feels a little bit of a relief to finally get this done with everything that's gone on. Just take me through kind of what this even means for you to win this championship. Obviously, it's a video game. Some people say, oh, it's whatever to care this much about it. But, man, you had to work for it. It probably feels really good.
Yeah, it's just something I take some passion in, just because I haven't really been able to ride IRL much because I tore my ACL back in December. And so I originally took this game up whenever I was out with a shoulder injury. So it was just, I find it a fun hobby just to do, just because it correlates so much with real life riding and whatnot. That's
awesome, man. Anything else, Andrew, for our champ here?
No, just congratulations. I mean, we've seen it all. You've had to deal with it all, from, DDoS attempts to people going crazy trying to take you out. Like, you kept fighting. You've had so many great rides this season. It's just, it's awesome to see, man. And I'm super proud of you. Congrats on the win, man. I've never even got close to winning a championship. So hopefully you have some confidence going in the outdoors. And I mean, hey, in real life injuries, but lead into, titles in sim when you can have fun in your free time. So just congrats, and really proud of you.
Thank you. I'd like to shout out one person real quick. Shout out to my boy Chuck, my friend's cat. We all love Chuck. He really helped me out with this championship.
That's awesome.
We love cats.
Way to go, Chuck, helping out Seth Shirley with this championship. That's awesome. Well, again, many congratulations from us, Seth. Your 2023 250 West Supercross champion in MX Simulator. Go have some fun, man. Party and celebrate.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right. That is Seth Shirley. Let's go ahead and real quick, if we can, also get our reigning and newly crowned, once again, champ, Braden Carter on the line. We'll call up the 3-time Supercross champ and see if we can See if we can talk to him here for a minute. There he is, Braden Carter, 3-time champion. What does that sound like? Just give me an idea of what that sounds like to you.
I mean, it sounds like I won again, you know? I did.
That's so modest, Braden Carter. Well, of course, let's talk about the races real quick here tonight. We assumed that you would still go for the win, even with the championship hanging in the balance. You only needed a 13th place results. Just kind of tell me what you were seeing early in that race. Obviously, Luke gets the lead. You have the pressure from Leclerc. You crash. Leclerc gets the lead. Then he crashes. Just talk me through it a little bit.
Honestly, I just had super sweaty hands after the first lap or two. So I missed my braking point going into that one corner. And after that, I kind of got my shit together. And I was ripping. And then Luke died in the gooniest way possible. I felt bad. Then, I mean, Leclerc had it. He had a pretty big lead there. He kind of threw it all on his own. And then I just rode it home after that.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe you didn't throw it away. I mean, no, I feel like I just knew you had such a big lead coming in, but I know you've done this, this is your third time winning a championship. You've won so many races so far, but were you nervous at all, like coming into this race? Were you nervous about having something crazy happen and losing it at the last round, like something unexpected, or were you pretty confident coming in even before your first heat race tonight?
Definitely the heat race was the most nerve-wracking part, because if I just make it in, all I need is a 13th or something like that. Mm-hmm. So once I was out from the heat, I kind of chilled out a little bit and then just rode it home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so just like we said, 3-time champion, so many wins, Supercross specialist, as we always say. Are we gonna finally roll this into an outdoor title?
I really wish I could say yes, but I don't believe in myself that much. Plus,
Bro,
I don't think I'll be able to make it to every round.
Oh, so, okay, all right, fair enough.
I'll try to be up there on the podium at least. I didn't get a single podium last year, so that's what I'm gonna hope to.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. You can't really win a title with that performance. Do you have a cat you want to thank?
A cat? I do not. I have a bird. I'll thank my bird buddy.
There we go.
Shout out Chromie for spotting me that race.
There you go, Chrome Dog. Hey, was Chromie as mad as we expected about his Chris Watts run-in, or what?
Yeah, he was mad.
Did he get payback that we did not see?
No, he chilled out a little bit. Took a deep breath over the finish.
Okay. All right. So, look, you won a lot of races this year. You moved up third all time in wins now. Obviously, 3-time champion. Only 2 people have won more than 2, and your name is now on that list. I mean, you don't seem someone that's like super phased by the records, but you're in all-time air when it comes to MX Simulator. Like, just what does that even feel like?
Dude, it's honestly crazy because I used to be, just one of the AM guys, like barely making AM mains. So being here is kind of crazy.
That's awesome, man. Anything else, Andrew, for our champ?
I mean, started from the bottom. Now you're here. Congrats, local boy. Proud of you. You made the season interesting. Lots of wins, lots of good battles. So, hopefully you can make it a little bit exciting for us in outdoors. But congrats on the win again. 3 in a row is just nuts. So, congrats, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. Thanks for streaming, guys. It's been great this year.
Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate all the good races that you put on for us this year, and definitely some ones to remember and a season to remember for you as well. So again, from myself, Andrew, all of us here at Star Systems, many congratulations, and hoist that #1 plate, man, and go celebrate tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh, and shout out my YouTube channel. I don't get as many views as these other guys, but I will be uploading my POV, so check that out.
OG BPC?
It's just Carter, actually.
Okay.
I should make it OG BPC.
That's all right. Worst plug ever. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Congrats.
No, don't worry about it. OG BPC on everything else, though.
Yeah. All right. Definitely check out Carter's YouTube channel. You can see his perspective of winning his 3rd MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship. Carter, have a good one tonight, man. Celebrate.
Thank you. Thanks for the streams.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank you, and we'll see you later. All right, that's going to do it for us this year. What a season it has been. ups and downs all arounds, and 3 champions finally crowned. Braden Carter, Seth Shirley, Rasmus Balzer, champions of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross in 2023. Final thoughts on the year as a whole, Andrew?
It was long. It was fun. It was long. We went through some good times, some bad times, some great racing, some not so great racing. But I mean, it's fun. I don't even know how many years we've done this, starting from doing it, separate at each other's houses to now this studio, everything that you've created, the following you've created. We hit 100,000 subscribers this year. Like,
beautiful.
It's insane. Like, it's just awesome, man. I mean, it's hard not to get burnout. It's a long series, but man, I mean, the racing's been so great. We've seen so many things, new winners. It's fun, and thank you for everyone. I mean, it's obviously falls off a little bit, but man, so many of you guys that watch live every week, and so many people that watch throughout, these are still getting awesome views. It's just, it's super fun, and it's just a game that means nothing to us. We don't even race anymore, but like, it's still so fun to commentate, and I just thank you for letting me be here. I really appreciate being part of the team and everyone else who supports us. So.
Well, I thank you for joining me, because sometimes calling these races by myself, man, it's not as fun, man. We don't get to yell dualies together. We don't get to watch great racing and scream and shout and have a good time. And man, fun year for sure. Couldn't have done it as well without all of the support from you fans all season long. So many people watching and viewing. We had huge amounts of viewership at the first couple of rounds, and a lot of you guys stuck with us all the way through. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in this year, making it interesting for us to continue to watch the chat, watch you guys get excited about these races, and take us all the way to the end and crown some champions. So thanks, guys, so much for the support year in and year out. One final shout out, of course, MotoOption Clothing, Race Tech Suspension, Phil Ski and Snowboard, Underground RC, all backing the series and making it possible for us. Init Esports and Race Factory Gaming for running the entire series and making it possible for us to also host these broadcasts and give you guys some fun racing, because the racing wouldn't go on without them whatsoever. So thanks to them and the Race Factory Gaming track crew. And really everybody behind the scenes, Evan Holt putting all the opening ceremonies together, Zach Dupuis and all of our Discord buddies that helped out with the scoring for Triple Crown races. So much work goes into these, and a lot of people to thank. So if I didn't get to you guys, I apologize, but seriously, thank you so much to everybody that helped out this year, and fun year. Yeah,
I mean, congrats to the championships too. Balzer, Shirley, Carter, just crushing it all year. I mean, yeah, everyone that helped us out. You should be thanked the most. Like, you're doing all this. So yeah, it's awesome. And I love it. So can't wait for another year. Outdoors, week off, outdoors.
Week off and outdoors. That's the plan. So we'll be back in a couple weeks, folks, bringing you guys the Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator, 11 rounds of fun. And we hope you guys join us every Wednesday night for more action when we get back to racing in a few weeks' time. But we're going to sign off here and send you guys on your way. Thank you all for tuning in, and thanks everybody that tuned in all season long to watch the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. Kellen and A-Wood signing off, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. So long for now.